My name is Damon, Egyptian witchin', white girl kissin', fastest hole diggin', where?
And this is Kevin, the no good, dirty, rotten, pig stealing, corpse kissing, illiterate teaching Schneider.
And this is a black and white review.
Nothing mixes better than vanilla and chocolate. And since you're black and I'm white, that makes it more special for the audience. Did you say black? You called him black? He's black. Oh, he said it again. This racism is killing me inside. You're white. You are black. And who cares? Who cares, baby?
All right, so this week's episode is 2003's Holes, directed by Andrew Davis. Can't read my own handwriting.
Oh, damn it.
Written by Louis Sakar. I should probably know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Because he wrote the book, too.
That's Sakar. S-A-C-H-A-R. So we're doing that wrong. Sorry.
So, sorry, everyone.
English is hard.
All right, and it stars Shia LeBeouf as Stanley Yelnats and Sigourney Weaver as the Warden. Jon Voight as Mr. Sir. Tim Blake Nelson as Dr. Pandansky. Pandansky. They literally spelled out in the book for you. I still can't say it. I just read the book yesterday. Cleo Thomas.
Dr. Pendansky.
Pendansky. There's literally a part in the book where it's like, this is how you say it. Pandansky. And I already forgot.
Read a book in a day.
I did read a book in a day. Cleo Thomas is Zero, a.k.a. Hector Zeroni. Patricia Arquette is Kate Barlow. And Dual Hill as Sam. And I don't know if it's Dual or like Dule, because there's got that hyphen over the E.
How's it? Wait, so it's D-U-L-E?
It's D-U-L-E, but there's like a little
I would assume
hyphen.
Dule
Hill.
Dule.
And what this is about, it's about a young boy who ends up in an alternative to juvie. He goes to go to Camp Green Lake, where there is Camp Green Lake.
Yep, Camp Green Lake.
They have to go to Camp Green Lake, and there he has to dig a hole 5 feet by 5 feet every day to build character. But maybe he was wrongly accused.
Yeah, and like just the idea of like 5 feet by 5 feet, it seems a little cutesy and shit, but like a 5 foot deep hole, like god damn, like one of the characters is barely 5 feet. Like he has to like climb out.
It's the size of your shovel. You'll measure with your shovel. All right, and the reason why we're actually doing this movie this week is because Shia LaBeouf has a new movie coming out this Friday, The Tax Collector.
Looks crazy good. Like in terms of like, if I'm going for what I want to see Shia LaBeouf like shoot people in the face. Like it looks great.
Yeah, it looks like it's like a L.A. crime movie with like the like cartels or something.
Seems like cartels. Like I saw like Mexican gangs and like I saw like AKs and people in like bulletproof vests. Like that always screams like you know cartel.
Yeah, most of David Ayer's movies are usually about like the cartel. That's usually what he does.
Did you do End of Watch?
He did End of Watch. He wrote Training Day.
Nice.
He did what was another? He did Suicide Squad. Oh, let's see. There's another one that's like a big one he did. I can't remember it. I don't know David Ayer's. Oh, he did Bright.
Nice.
With Will Smith.
It's fine, but like you know, can't all be fucking hitters. But yeah, no.
But he's usually most of his movies are usually about like crime stuff in L.A.
Yeah, no, and like from the trailers, like didn't you tell me? You told me like people are
some people are mad that Shia LaBeouf is playing this character, and he's like the only white guy in a whole cast of Hispanic actors. So people are like, he's brown facing because of like how he looks, and like we saw the trailer. I mean, he looks like the same skin tone Shia LaBeouf. So I guess they're trying to say it's like cultural appropriation or something.
Yeah, it makes it sound like.
But like his character's a white guy too. Apparently, like David Ayer even said, like this character's white. He's written white. He's a white guy. And it's like, well, how come he's acting like how like certain portrayal of Hispanics have been shown in movies, like being as like this and that. It's like you're kind of. It's like this is just, and he even defended himself like this is just how I kind of grew up. I grew up in these areas, and I behave in similar ways the way Shia LaBeouf's character does, and I'm white. Like, what are you trying to say?
Yeah, it's like I don't understand why like some people try to assume that like culture is only dictated by skin color. Like that's like a crazy racist thing to do. Yeah. And like people are so worried about the surface shit. They're like, oh, so you're saying only Hispanics can only do this stuff that are being portrayed right now. Like, no, it's about gang culture, and this man grew up around a gang full of people that happen to be Hispanic, so he's going to probably have the mannerisms that make it easier to fit in.
Makes sense. The other crazy thing about this new movie coming out is that Shia LaBeouf, apparently the chest tattoo that his character has in the movie, he actually got.
Apparently,
I forget what it looked like. I actually didn't look it up before this, but I heard it's pretty bizarre.
it's a chest, dude.
But also,
I've got 3 tattoos, but I don't have the confidence.
I think it's like his whole. I think it's his whole chest.
How long did it take to make the chest tattoo? Like, is it the whole? You said it's from like neck.
The picture looks like it's from the neck all the way down to like his belly.
Because the trailer had him in a fucking suit.
That's the other thing. In the whole trailer, you don't see his shirt off at all. He's wearing a suit like in every scene. So it's like
this tattoo better be really important for it
like
to be
it's
quote unquote real.
It's definitely not going to be that.
That's some
important.
bullshit performance art shit that Shia LaBeouf loves to do. If
really
it's
Shia
real,
LaBeouf
if it's
now.
real or not, like we're already talking about. So you know what I mean? Like he won. You win again, Shia.
Also, because of COVID, no movies are being released, so a VOD movie starring Shia LaBeouf is apparently newsworthy enough for us to talk about.
We need something.
I miss the movies.
I miss the movies so much. But also, we got to have an excuse to watch Holes again. It's been years since I've actually had like a need to watch the movie, but it was like I think I enjoyed it for like most of it. Like
yeah.
I was kind of taken away from some of the characters or some of the actors' performances in the movie. Like, I think you had like a really big gripe with one of them coming up.
I think the actors all do a pretty good job, especially after... I never really had much nostalgia for this. Like, I only saw it in bits and pieces when I was a kid. Like, I didn't read the book when I was a kid. I just read it recently because... I saw how short it was, and I was like, oh, why don't I just read that before the episode? And it only took me like a day. I mean, it's a kid's book, but I totally get why it's a classic now. A lot of friends of mine, actually, they had to read this for like a 5th grade summer reading. So like a lot of my friends have like a lot of nostalgia for this book and for the movie. And I never actually sat down and watched the movie until like a week or 2 ago. I'd only seen like the snippets, like the highlights. I never actually I might have saw it on TV once or something, but I don't remember.
And for me, like, I know this was, like, required summer reading for a lot of people. It wasn't for me. I didn't really read the book. All I knew was the movie. So I watched the movie a couple times, like, but never, like, it was never my go-to, like, oh, I can't wait to re-watch Holes again. So, and I don't know why. Like, looking on it back, like, it has, like, the ensemble cast, like, just all, good story.
I think
drama I forgot about.
I thought it was really good. I think it deserves to be held up with, like, all those other, like, kid movies, ensembles. And, like, the kids are portrayed pretty realistically in this too, like the way they act and the things they say. Like it's like, yes, this is how kids talk. Like great. Like, 'cause I hate when like some Hollywood movies like just cover up how kids will say things.
Yeah, like the sugarcoating is
the
really
sugarcoating. Like how like it was kind of like it was hardball.
Yeah, and at least like with this, like in this environment, I think maybe the kids could have like potentially cursed more, but for like
they're all basically in juvie, so they're all like criminals in some aspect. I mean, maybe not anything super major, but like. They're all troubled youths. Yeah. They're a bunch of troubled youths that have to dig a hole every day in the desert.
And they're aged, like what's like from like 11
on?
Because there's a couple scenes where you'll see like the more of the kids besides like the main ones that Shia LaBeouf, aka Caveman, like deals with, and they look like they're like 16, 17. Like things, so it could be a bunch of criminals.
Yeah,
or from juveniles to criminals.
This was also introducing Shia LaBeouf. It's his first movie. I think he was already doing Even Stevens at this point, but movie-wise, this is it. This is his first movie.
Nice.
He's good in it too. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, no, I did too. I didn't think anything like negative of the performance. He was charismatic. He sold why me? That was like most of the movie. And then him getting used to situations, trying to find ways to adapt in the camp. Yeah. Like, I liked all the things he was in, and Hector. Or Zero, I should say. Like Zero. I liked him. I remember you said like his portrayal in the book was like a little different.
They give him more to do in the book. Like you get more of his story. It flows more organically, but also it's a book. Like it's
of course it has more time to flesh out like the characters like that. And also too is like I remember you said like the chapters in the book are like so like how many like
it's a 230-page book and it's 50 chapters long. Like that's so each page is like
so digestible.
So some pages, one chapter I'm pretty sure was literally less than a page.
Damn. No, you bang that out.
It was easy to read. It was
like
super easy to read.
That's a nice ass like beach read.
Oh,
right
absolutely.
there.
I would highly recommend this as a beach read, especially just because of the heat stuff. Like it's very and digging holes. You can dig a hole on the beach while reading Holes.
Oh shit!
Put that on your Instagram. The book right there with the hole there and a plastic shovel. You're in the hole being like, "Yep, I'm caveman over here."
Hashtag X-Ray because I'm a gang leader. Because like X-Ray is like I forgot how antagonistic X-Ray was in this movie. Like each scene he's in, he is like trying to like get over on Stanley Yelnats every single time.
X-Ray is one of the kids in the prison. All the kids have their own nickname.
Yep.
They don't go by their actual names.
Much easier to remember the kids in Hardball.
Yeah, they all just have nicknames.
Nicknames and personalities.
Armpit, Zigzag, X-Ray, Zero,
Magnet.
Yeah,
and one of them's Twitch. But he doesn't
Twitch is like the late edition.
Fuck Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch is whatever.
Whatever. He doesn't earn his keep there.
Yeah, and his nickname it's so easy. Like it's probably like your name's Twitch. It's like because you Twitch, and it's like, yeah, that's been my name everywhere I've ever been all the time.
I want to know the writer who was like, guys, I got it. I know. I know. But
the screenplay and the book.
Out of all the things that go on the cutting room floor, it's like, is the need for Twitch to be there? That's how Stanley gets in
the book, it's how Stanley knows how to steal the car.
He talks about it too.
Because in the movie,
criminal. Yeah,
in the movie he just kind of says like, put it in gear, but in the book he's struggling to steal it, and the car won't move because he's putting the pedal, and he's like, you got to put it in gear, and that's how he knows to do it, and then that's how he gets off.
So he's just a plot device.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, cool. That makes way more sense as to why he seems.
Pretty much all he does, I think, in the entire book.
That kind of seems like he seems so tacked on.
He sort of does in the movie, but it's not as. The book made it a little more dramatic, I'd say.
Fair enough. No, that's totally fair. But I'm trying to think of anything else that before we get into like.
I like the fairy tale aspect of it all, like the way that the flashbacks.
Supernatural stuff was cool. Like, I liked the curse because I know I wasn't sure if the book had the curse element or not, but I kind of liked the curse in the movie because it made it more like whimsical's not the right word because this is pretty dark, but
fantastical.
Yeah, fantastical is a much better way to say it. Like just the fantasy element of it was made kind of like the crazier shit, and like the like you said, like the more aggressive stuff that happens in the movie, like he's more palatable because it's a curse, and they have to do something.
When something outrageous happens, you're more accepting of it because you're like, this is like a more like, because I would say this is like an American fantasy. Mm-hmm. That's how it reads.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the book itself.
Yeah, it's like an American fantasy. It's like because it's part immigrant story, part like Western, part modern day, like, and all of it's like a little fantastical. Yeah, that's how I would best describe this. It's just a modern American fantasy.
Fair enough. And then like the Disney version of that would be more Disneyfied because the fantastical elements are there. So
they get
why
most
not?
I mean, I'm not going to read the book every time, and I don't like people who are like the book's better. But
no.
there is a reason why the book's always better because that is the original format the story was told. So the way for any story, the source is always going to be better because that's the way it was. Because if whatever way you're telling your story, whatever medium you're using, you should utilize that medium to every single way and every way you can, based on like what you have to work with. So if you're doing that well, then you're gonna exceed in it better, and that's what makes the book so good. And then once you do a movie, certain things just aren't quite right. Like the fact that this movie has like random narration every now and then, and like some people just expound things that are like. What? Like that's why would you even say that?
Yeah, it's like we were all just
why would you
here.
know that? Where like in the book, it's just there's a narrator though. They can just say things whenever they want and however they want.
Is the book in first person or is it like third person? Like Stanley did this.
Stanley did this.
Oh wow! So the so
yeah,
even easier. Just like do like any transition. So yeah, of course the book's gonna be. Yeah. The source material is going to be better than any adaptation of the source material.
Yeah, so I liked the movie. I thought the movie was really good, especially considering I have like a strong nostalgia to it. Like something like Sandlot, like I have a ton of nostalgia for. So anytime I'd watch that, I love it. But this, I was just like, I don't know. Like sometimes you never with these kids movies, but I think this deserves to be in the conversation of like best kids movies up there with like Goonies and like E.T. and
especially for how it tackles
Sandlot.
Like some pretty serious like stuff with like the whole idea of like a tough love boot camp and really like the darker aspects that can happen.
He's in juvie essentially.
When you don't know like what's happening, because like in the movie like Stanley lies when he's talking to his mom via letter. He's like, oh, everything's great and do.
I went swimming in the lake. There is no lake. It's a desert.
Yeah, we're just digging 5 foot by 5 foot holes, and it's
so grim.
But all you have is just like your kid's word that everything's hunky dory. But some of these and yeah, when we get into the movie and some of the scenes, like the research I did is just crazy, man. Like it's wild, like how you can make kids like suffer and think it's like we're gonna make them learn.
So I'd say everyone does a pretty good job. Like it seems like everyone respects their material. Sigourney Weaver's really good in it. She's pretty intimidating. Tim Blake Nelson is just supposed to be kind of the more like he's the Dr. Pendansky.
Just use it with an accent.
Mom.
I think you said
Pendansky. That doesn't sound right.
But you said it right.
Like he is kind of supposed to be more of a jokey thing, but I don't understand what Jon Voight is doing in this movie. Like, I don't get it. Like, he's so bizarre to such a weird degree. It feels like he's the only one just not respecting the material. He's like, well, this is a kid's movie, so you gotta ham it up a little. But, like, Sigourney Weaver's still, I don't know, she's still doing a good job, and so is Tim Blake Nelson. Like, the kids will be kids. Like, they're kid actors. They're probably just gonna just do what the director directed. And all the kids do a good job. They all take it pretty seriously. But Jon Voight's like, he's like, how do I describe it? He's like, oh my god, he's like Yosemite Sam. Thank you. That's what I was trying to think of.
Because like how he's bizarre he acts.
He's like a more subdued Yosemite Sam, and he's got like this weird wig and like a crab walk about him.
He's wincing, like his all of the mannerisms are so up to 11. And Sigourney Weaver and who plays
Tim Blake Nelson.
Tim Blake Nelson.
He's a lot of things. He's in Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Yes,
he's also in Buster Scruggs, which is like a more recent thing that he did that people were like, I liked it.
Yeah, no, I watched that. I like that too. But they're just playing like Texans. And I think when Jon Voight saw like, oh, I'm a Texan warden, he went full like, I'm gonna be a Texan warden.
And the wig is just so a wig. It's such a wig. It's the wiggest wig I've ever wigged.
Well, wig out.
Oh my god.
I love how much it made you mad because I didn't even take note of Jon Voight's performance at all.
The other thing is everyone who's in like the flashback stuff, because there's a flashback to Stanley's great grandfather that ties in the story, and there's a flashback to what Green Lake was like before it was a desert, when it was a nice prosperous town, and everyone in those scenes plays it a little like sillier. But I think you get away with it because they're flashbacks and just the way they're shot and just the way that it's told within the story. It should be a little more fantastical because like this is a like it's just an old history, and also there is fantasy to it. There's like curses.
Like you said, like American fantasy.
Yeah, it's American fantasy. So I think with that stuff, the actors can kind of, I'd say, ham it up a little bit more, just because like they're in the story. But what's really happening with Stanley and them, like that's supposed to be pretty much the real world.
Should be subdued.
Pretty much the real world, except for things just will work out because magic and curses and
Disney.
Yeah, the book's like that too, though.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
because I wasn't sure how much like the movie like made the book, or if it watered down any of like the harsher things in the book, or
not really. Like they really don't. Like, I would say awesome. They just don't draw it out as much. I'd say.
Okay.
Like the book draws out some of it more, which it should, because if you're wandering through a desert, it should feel like forever.
Yeah.
So like some of the longer chapters, like because of there's so many chapters and so short, there's so many chapters dedicated to just Stanley wandering in the desert later on, and he does a good job of making it seem like, wow, this is gruesome, like he could die, and like the characters are like, I could die, and they're trying to survive. Where in the movie they kind of just, I mean, they are for a little bit, but then after like a few minutes, then it's just kind of like, well, this is where we're at now, and everything's fine. It's less stakes, but I get why they would cut it. I mean, it's a movie.
Yeah, and realistically, it's already like close to 2 hours, so we're not going to draw out like the kid torture.
So I like this movie, except for if Jon Voight wasn't doing whatever the hell he's doing, I would like this a lot more. I'd probably be way more willing to watch it again, like just casually, but he just bothers me so much.
And Jon Voight did nothing for me, positive or negative, so I guess I'm more likely to watch the movie.
He took me out of the movie a few times. I'm like, what is he doing? Like, what is he doing? I honestly question, like, isn't he like an esteemed actor? And I look up and I'm like, yeah, he's been nominated for 4 Oscars and he won 1. I mean, this was probably like 40 years ago now, but like, what are you doing? What's he doing?
I'm just picturing you.
In the book, he's just the jerk guard. You could have got pretty much any just white dude who can do a southern accent to do that.
Yeah.
And also, his character is just, he quit smoking, so he's just really miserable all the time.
Yeah, he's cranky.
Oh my gosh, we have to get Oscar winner Jon Voight for this. Of course. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, no, let's
put him in a really weird wig, because he's probably too old to be like the head guard of all these guys. I don't think the book says how old he is, but I mean, if you were a kid and Jon Voight's like around like being intimidating, are you really going to be that intimidated by him?
Especially he's got like that gut that he did like in the movie.
The way he's walking, you can tell this man cannot run. He can't run.
Yeah, the only thing that's intimidating is like he's got guns. It doesn't really matter. He has a gun, so it doesn't really matter how fast you run, I guess. So I guess that's the point of the
But they even say at the beginning, it's like, this ain't for you. It's for them lizards.
Oh, damn. Was it yellow-spotted lizards?
Yeah, I think it's yellow-spotted lizards.
Those yellow-spotted lizards.
Yeah, so we liked it. All right.
You want to just go into can we just dive right
on in?
Dive right into it.
All right, so the movie opens with I think Shia LeBeouf narration. And he's like on a bus through a desert, and it's like
even before that, the movie actually opens with that's the reason that's the reason why he's in like the previous
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so the movie opens up with this kid, like they're all a bunch of kids are digging the holes, and one's called Barf Bag.
Barf Bag.
He kind of looks around and sees, was it a rattlesnake? Rattlesnake on the desert floor, and he just gets up out of his hole and takes off his boot and fucking saunters over to it and...
Don't do it, man. It ain't worth it, man. Digging's not that bad.
Yeah, everyone is
all the kids
begging.
X-Men. X-Ray.
Barf Bag, we need you. We
need you to defeat Magneto. We need your Barf Bag abilities.
Why do you have us digging holes, Professor? Like,
it builds character.
Well, yeah, no. So the digging holes in the desert is so awful that he will risk getting murdered by a rattlesnake, and that's how the movie opens. That really does show Jesus Christ.
But I'm messing around.
No, not at all.
That's kind of good though. It's
yeah.
Be ready.
Yeah.
This is where this movie's going.
Mm-hmm.
Just tells the audience right away.
Yeah, and also, too, especially for a kid's movie that isn't going to pull some of its punches, this is, the best way to be hey, listen, fair warning. If your kids get scared about this, maybe it's time to turn this off right now.
Yeah. Because that might be the most messed up thing that you see in the movie.
Yeah, because it's a kid self-harming, so I think it really is,
you don't see this. I don't think you see this thing, but you just see him,
Yeah, I think you see the movements, and then,
you know what happens. The sound effects.
All of the violence is in shadow or off-screen, but he's head back. Jesus! Why is holes so hard? Or why are holes so hard?
Dig up them holes. Dig 'em.
I hate you so
Diggity.
much. Diggity. I like Diggity better than...
It's not Diggity, though.
Too bad. It's kind of like Reese's Pieces. People say that and think it's the right thing to say. It's a hill I'll die on, Kevin.
I don't know. I just think the dig 'em up them holes, dig 'em. It's just more grim. When you're like, Diggity, it's like if I was in this camp with you and I'm like, I don't know what I'd be. I guess I'm
which white character?
I don't
Zigzag?
know.
You're tall. You're Zigzag.
I'm Zigzag, and I'm digging, and then I guess you'd be X-Ray, or no, I'd be Stanley, and you'd be Zero.
Yeah, there we go.
And I just hear, because also Zero doesn't talk, and all you hear is Zero just go, dig 'em up, them holes, diggity. I'd be like, shut up, Zero. And this is the one time I've said anything. Yeah, and you blew it. You blew it.
Dr. Pandansky, you did blew it, Zero. We're all
nothing going on in your dumb little head.
Dig. I'm a counselor.
I'm supposed to be a therapist. A counselor, even, to help you.
Yeah, so then after Barf Bag gets bit, is that when Stanley's on the bus?
Yeah, you just see Stanley on the bus being like, I bet you're wondering how I got here.
It's and then flashback again to he's just walking underneath the underpass, and then these very nice white and red shoes just kind of hit him clunk right on the head, and he's like, how this happen? What's my role in the movie now?
Is that your Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, because I don't respect I can't do a good impersonation, so why if I'm not gonna do it good, I'm just gonna do it funny. Okay. Don't judge me.
I'm just confused. I was like, who's that supposed to be?
It's supposed to be kid Shia LaBeouf. I don't know, Kevin. I don't know.
Hey man, you do you.
Yeah, right. I'm glad you do.
I was just confused.
Yeah, it's fine. I get and now the audience is less confused now. Oh yeah, but no, he gets hit, and the cops find him right away, or
he's running, and then they're like, "Why are you running?"
Freeze your ass, Shia LaBeouf.
That's what he says.
Oh, does he?
He's like, "Why are you running, kid?" He's like, "I'm just running home."
Oh shit, I don't remember. I totally forgot. That's how he gets caught. I know that he rolled up.
He's running with the shoes.
Oh Jesus Christ, that's
in the book too.
No,
he's running with the shoes, but in the shoes, it's like how my dad's working on something with recycling shoes. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell him right now. These shoes must be special, and then he just starts running because he's excited. And then yes, David?
Kevin, the Barf Bag thing. Did that happen in the book?
Well, dude, in the book. It happens, but it's not seen. It's just told. It's there's a new space, and people are like, how's there a new space? And oh, Barf Bag got bit by a rattlesnake. He did it on purpose. And one kid's like, no, he didn't. It's yeah, he did. It's more ambiguous as to whether he did it on purpose or not. But it's pretty much accepted that he did it on purpose.
Okay. In the book.
Yeah, because at one point later, Zero even says he's like, Barf Bag did do it on purpose. He couldn't take it anymore.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow, good job, book.
But there's a little ambiguity. It's did he do it on purpose? Because it's oh my gosh.
I remember, and so like it's kind of like flashing back to him getting caught, like him going to court, and in court does the baseball player show up in court?
Yeah, he does.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I thought it was so.
I forget.
Over the top.
I don't remember if he actually says "You ain't no fan of mine." I forget if he says that though. I don't remember.
Because I remember as being like, I know he donated.
But he does say
orphanage.
like, who would steal from orphans? Like, what kind of person does that?
I just don't know why. Like, is he a character wit? Like, why would he know anything about?
Well, because I know in the book it's like they were gonna auction everything off, and he was gonna be there to auction them and sign them and like do photos to help the orphanage,
raise up,
and like
raise
while
up
they're having
money.
the stuff together, that's when they got stolen.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Fair enough. So I guess he would be there as a witness. Just hammer it home that this kid's a bad kid. And I was thinking about the judge just sent him to the camp like so quickly. Like if the camp is already crooked.
Oh yeah, that one little speech he says. I don't think he goes. I could send you to jail, and I wouldn't lose sleep over it. And the mom's just like, oh my goodness. It's like what an awful thing. It reminds me of the judge in Shawshank. Where it's like you strike me as a particularly cold man, Mr. Dufresne. It's like all right, judge.
Yeah, like way just like assume and project what you see onto everyone here.
I've only read your file, but I find you very guilty.
Guilty as charged.
What?
Yeah, no. It's wacky, and he and they're going because they keep going back and forth, and then when Stanley back and forth with the flashbacks of like, okay, this happened, and this happened, like the cops go, cops go to his house, and it's like, what the fuck, your kid's a piece of shit.
There's why there's shoes everywhere. It smells horrible in this house.
Yeah, because his dad's trying to like find the secret for foot odor, which I don't understand. Like it's the mid. What is the time period in the book? Does it say? Like, is it?
I think it's present day, but I think the book came. When did this book come out? I forget when this book came out, but in the book, I think it's present day.
Just present day.
But this book is like late 90s, early 2000s.
So hasn't foot?
1998 is when this book came.
So like, isn't he kind
So
of?
it's late 90s.
So, because I know that he's trying to find like elimination of foot odor, but there are companies that are doing that. He's looking for the total, complete erasure of foot odor, like.
In the book. In the book, he's just trying to figure out a way to recycle shoes. It's supposed to be his dad's an inventor, and when he gets an idea, he sticks with it. And some reason, it was something with shoes. In the movie, they just kind of cut right to it. It's the foot odor thing. And then, because eventually, in the book, it becomes foot odor. So I guess the movie, they were just like, why don't we just cut right to it? Like, why dance around it?
Oh, okay. That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
So he just found a way to...
you get there faster and it makes more sense.
No, that's perfect. That's totally
also,
fine.
I feel like his dad with the shoes is like the D plot of this movie, because like there's a lot happening in this, and they handle it pretty well. They juggle all the stories very well.
Yeah, cause I think they give enough time to everything because as like you said, a D plot time. So 5 to 10 minutes of screen time maybe.
You see it once in the beginning, then you see him again later, and then like at the end, it's like huzzah! Foot odor.
Stanley's mom is Edgar's.
I don't know her name.
It's fine.
But she was Edgar's wife in Men in Black.
Edgar's wife, Men in Black, and she's still being flustered in this movie.
She just can't marry the right man.
Oh, no matter what, she's always struggling. She makes okay in the end, but she had to wait for the whole movie for that to happen, and that's too long. And so he gets sent to camp, and then I think the first supernatural element happens because like he's just like the black field.
It's just that's what I mean. Where like this
hand.
movie kind of doesn't handle the fantastical stuff super. Like sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't. This one has where it doesn't. It's like he just sees ghosts. I mean, we don't know it yet in the story yet, but it's like he just sees the ghost of like this black man and a donkey, and then just vanishes. But Stanley sees it and looks.
He does a double take.
Fades away. But like
looks back and he's like,
what?
Is the heat this bad already?
Like we could have just gotten to that part of the story when we got to it, movie. Like I don't know why you got to bring it up now because it's just confusing.
Yeah, because it kind of sets up the theme that it's going to be like, is it going to be ghosts? Like as like it's going to be more fantastical shit. But the flashback, you're right. Like if we just waited until
we were going to find out soon anyway. Why do that? Yeah. It's just I don't get it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Sam gets to be a ghost, but all the other flashback people, they don't get to be ghosts.
He was truly one with the Force, Kevin. Yes, like, because kissing Kate let hate tempt her to the dark side, and so she can't become a Force ghost. And who else could become a Force ghost in that town? They're all racist, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean they're not. They're all complicit in the racism.
He's the only one that could be a Force ghost.
White silence is white consent.
Silence is violence.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he gets there. As soon as Stanley gets to the camp, and he's like, "Where's the lake?" Because idiot.
Lake.
That's when you meet weird Jon Voight, where he's just his wig, his mannerisms, his sunflower seeds. This ain't no Girl Scout camp.
Yeah, it's like the whole Greenland isn't really Greenland type thing. It's like there's no real lake here, buddy. We do that to trick the parents. Like I was almost waiting for, I was almost waiting for Mr. Sir like tussle his hair, being like, "Silly boy, like you're in hell now. Like you not get it? Like you're digging holes."
So he like just gives them all the information. It's like you got to dig a hole every day. That's the only rule: 5 feet by 5 feet. When you're done your hole, you can be done working, and that's what you got to do every single day. Why are we digging holes? Builds character.
Shut up.
Don't worry about it.
Watch me scoot over here.
What?
As I watch me scoot over
here. Oh, yeah,
here.
because he does this weird crab walk like a lot in this movie. I think Jon Voight is just an older man and has back problems because every time he moves in this movie, it's like
he's hurting.
Yeah, I think he's just in pain. Like, I think Jon Voight is just too old to be out in this dry desert. Maybe that's what it is.
They actually did. I looked up that they actually had to train the kids to just like, they had to train them up physically to handle being in the holes for as long as they
that makes
were.
Sense.
Because they were filming in 100-degree heat some days because it's a desert, so the shoot was like actually kind of dangerous. So Jon Voight easily could have been like, "Can we please be? This is how I need to walk."
Do I really need the wig? Yes, you do, Jon Voight. You need that wig, but it looks like a wig. Yeah, because maybe your character is wearing a wig, so it's fine. It looks like a wig. He's like, I guess
maybe like Jon Voight, he had to ham it up. That's how he got through like just being in the desert. He's like, well, I could just escape and just be Mr. Sir. Pew 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 pew. He's like, channel Yosemite Sam. Channel Yosemite Sam.
Just get a different actor. Anyone could have been Mr. Sir based on the book. Because based on what I read in the book and on paper of this movie, all he does is just be a jerk.
Maybe they wanted to flex and be like, we got Jon Voight. That's all I think about. Like, just there's just Disney flex. Like, and Jon Voight's here, motherfucker.
You already got Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver and Jon Voight, motherfucker.
Yes.
Yeah, man, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're gonna brag hard. Get all of it.
Maybe Jon Voight just wanted to work with Sigourney Weaver.
Because she's so fine. Like, just
she's quite beautiful.
Oh my god, we'll talk about the scene when it comes.
Yeah, because it's like a great reveal of Sigourney Weaver.
We
didn't reveal her very well.
Yeah, very good.
But the movie does.
Very good character.
And the book does too. It's the same, pretty much the same.
Oh, really? So like for most of it in the background.
Most of the book is the same. I would just say they kind of water some stuff down, and they rearrange when things happen or how you find things out.
So the black supernatural field hand, is that in the book? Like, does he see the black supernatural field hand?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No.
I just want to make sure.
No, it's not.
I'm just curious.
No.
Cool. Just so we're all on the same page.
Nope.
All right.
Stanley does not see the ghost of
Sam,
the onion picker.
Oh, wow. Black guy from Psych. What's his name? Do you know the actor's name? Or
Dule Hill?
Dule!
Or Dual Hill? I'm not sure how you actually say it.
Dual Hill. The Battle of Dual Hill. Now I'm hoping it's pronounced Dual. Oh my god. But so he gets in and right away, like, they just start treating Stanley like the new kid.
Yeah, they haze him.
Oh yeah, immediately. Like, prison culture on full display. Like, just called me by my, like, because I think he calls one of the kids like his real name, Armpit. Theodore. Thank you.
This is Theodore. He goes, Theodore. He's like, my name's Armpit.
And pushes him in the ground, like, makes it like, oh, and the shower's over there. So he still helps him, but that's like a little like lesson. Like, hey, listen, like, you need to get with this.
Watch your step.
Yeah, because we're with the shit here. Like, we have to dig 5 feet by 5 feet holes. We're gonna find a way to like have some quote unquote fun while we do it. Like, we're in prison, might as well have prison rules. And
yeah, pretty much, because X-Ray's the leader of their gang.
I know, he's like leader. Not even the shadows. Like, everyone knows that. Like, didn't you say the book makes it very clear too that like X-Ray.
Stanley doesn't understand. He's like, he's not the biggest, and he's not like whatever. It's like, but they all listen to X-Ray. Like, I don't get it. He just knows how to control people.
That's how most leaders like do. It's just like they're usually not the biggest or strongest. They usually have to make sure that you kowtow to the biggest or strongest and make sure they can do what they do. And most of the other kids aren't really antagonistic towards him, except for like Armpit and X-Ray. X-Ray consistently throughout the whole movie just
Armpit just basically becomes another part of the crew. Same as Zigzag starts shit with him at one point.
And like, was he like making fun of him? Like,
it happens
at lunch? Yeah, like
no, it's like a. he accidentally fights somebody, and that's how he gets his nickname, which is Caveman.
Yeah.
I think that's the same in the book. He's accidentally kind of like they're like, "Oh, Caveman, you don't mess with Caveman." And he's like, "What? I don't mess with anyone," because he doesn't know he's Caveman.
Yeah.
So he finds out his nickname's Caveman by them calling him Caveman.
Yeah, and I think like they made fun of it, like his forehead, and I think that's part of it as well. Like
I honestly don't even remember why
I
he's
think I heard
Caveman.
like a one like throwaway line because they were just cracking on him, and I was like, all right, maybe. I mean, his forehead seems X-ray. Your forehead seems like just as big, but I don't know, man. You're the boss.
One of the big things the movie difference is that in the book Stanley's fat. In the beginning, he's a fat kid, and he loses the weight while he's at the camp.
doing manual labor.
Yeah, as you probably would.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like one of the big differences. But I mean, you can't really do anything about that in a movie. I mean, you're not gonna be like, all right, Shia, we need you to go full method on this. I am a child.
Mm-hmm. Can you spell method, Shia?
Do you want to continue to be on Even Stevens, or should we just cancel that? And this will be introducing. We'll also be saying goodbye to Shia LeBeouf. Okay, I'll eat the cake. Just don't throw it at me. They're always throwing cake at me on that other show. I'm always being slimed. Why is it so slimy in the 90s?
That's what we thought, Shia. Now get in the prison jumper suit. We own you, Shia. We own you.
Is
And
this,
the movie
is
shows
this
it.
actually for a movie? Shut up, Shia.
Shut the fuck up, Shia. Sing, Shia.
Digging up them holes. Dig 'em
Louder.
Dig 'em up those holes. Dig 'em.
We got it. We can cut that on post.
My entire life will become an arts exhibit.
Oh, Jesus. Can you imagine, like, being able to go back in time and being like, Shia, enjoy this. Enjoy this time.
Save your money. Retire now.
That's the real negative advice. Like, it only goes downhill. Do Eagle Eye. It's my guilty pleasure movie.
Is it really? Eagle Eye?
It's so bad, but it's so fucking palatable.
I think I saw it once.
AI, we're gonna fuck your whole life up. Watch, guys. Like, if you want to like get drunk and like enjoy like a movie like that makes no sense, Eagle Eye is right up there. Like, and kids are involved. Like, there's like a little bit of danger, but like the stakes are. You know the kids are gonna die in the end. Like, just fucking watch it. Anyway, here nor there.
I forgot about that movie until you just brought it up.
Sorry, man. Like, Shia LaBeouf has a huge filmography, and
He's been acting since he was a kid.
no wonder he's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest things I feel like we've talked about this podcast. Is beyond like film and race and comedy. We talk about like it sucks to be a kid in Hollywood.
It's brutal, dude. Like, because the profession, actors as a whole, actors are kind of crazy because you kind of have to embody people so easily all the time, and that's your job. And you're giving like money and accolades for that, and just to immerse a child in like that pressure cooker so early, all of this expectation, like it's just. Where are we at? So they're in.
I think it's just like we were just saying like the nicknames and stuff and digging the hole.
Yeah, and then like they start talking. Yeah, and then like you see like Dr. Pendancy start talking shit about Zero being dumb, like pretty early on. And like is that prevalent in the book pretty quickly?
Yeah,
it's like, all right,
it's the same in the book.
Stupid.
He's just as mean to Zero.
Great.
Yeah.
So just like I think it's just Stanley just getting used to like all the stuff of like the camp.
It's him just adapting, and then you can remember more of the like the trial stuff, and Clyde Livingston be like, "You ain't no friend of mine." And every time they flash backwards or forwards, it's always a fade and then slow motion. Slow motion, then fade to the next thing. Slow motion. It's every time. It kind of bothered me after a while.
Yeah, well, also, like, I think, like, that's kind of a lot of the movie where, like, they'll put a lot of effort into certain things, but, like, the soundtrack might slip a little bit. Like, their transitions are a little lazy because it's, like, still a kid's movie. So they're like, all right, we're going to care about the substantive portions of it, but we're not going to pay for the post effects differently.
Yeah, so I think this is actually when they do the first flashback. They talk about how apparently there's a curse on Stanley's family that because of his no good pig stealing great grandfather, where he had a deal to he was trying to get a farmer's daughter to marry him. He thought she was beautiful, so this is like he's in like the old country. I forget, he's somewhere in like Eastern Europe. He goes in an old country, and he's in love with the farmer's daughter, and he goes to seek advice from Madame Zaronia, the wise Egyptian woman in town. And everyone thinks she's kind of weird in town, but like he's the one who's like, she's a nice lady, and she seems pretty smart. I'm going to go get advice from her. And she's like, Why do you want to get with her? She's an idiot.
She's stupid, dude.
She's really dumb.
Airhead.
You should go to America. That's where my son went. That's where my son went. He's in America.
Yeah, it's like he's gonna make something of himself.
But it's like, fine, if you really want to get this girl, then so he needs to get the girl. So he wants to get the girl, but he needs all the times he got the father's permission, and the father is like, "What do you have to offer me?" And it's like, "My love." And it's like, yeah, Igor over here is
this is
Latvia.
Is
it Latvia?
It's Latvia.
Okay.
He's like, no, this means nothing here.
well, Igor over here is gonna give me his fattest pig, and your love is no, just no.
I can't eat your
and
love.
Igor is just like a late 50s, very large man.
Is he like? Is he Borat's like sidekick, or is that a different actor? Like his face looked like.
He was in stuff back in like the early 2000s. I don't remember his name.
Well, it just fits as like.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who's on.
Okay,
things.
cool.
But yeah, so it's like, well, all right. My teenage daughter's gonna marry this 50-year-old grotesque man for a pig. And then you look at like great-great-grandfather, and he's like a handsome young man, like a strapping, handsome young man from the old country. And it's like, so the manager already tells him, all right, take a pig, take the small one because it'll probably die anyway. And you go up the mountain, and then you sing this song, which I'm not going to sing because I don't feel like it.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, they bring it up in the book a lot.
Oh, really?
It's really important in the book, and it's kind of important in the movie. And he sings the song.
Doesn't he have to like carry the pig on his fucking back?
He needs to carry the pig up the hill, let it drink the water from the stream on top of the mountain, sing the song, and he needs to do that every single day. And it's like, and then every day the pig will get fatter and he will get stronger because it'll be just, as the pig gets fatter,
it'll make you a man.
Yeah. So eventually he gets to the point where he's got the pig and he brings it in to over and be like, look how fat my pig is. And it's like, they weigh the same. I'll let my daughter decide. And the daughter is an idiot and she's like, which one weighs the most? And it's like, they're both the same, so you can choose. And she's like,
I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 20.
Oh my God. Ma'am, picture them both naked. Now choose.
What do you
You still
want?
can't decide? Then you're an idiot.
Yeah, you should not be getting married. Like, there are other problems, other issues right now.
And then as soon as he sees what's happening and like how she can't decide, and even he's like, are you serious? Like, I don't know if I'm a catch, but that guy?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah, like, yeah.
And he just says, he's like, screw it.
I'm
Take
done.
my pig. I'm going to America.
It's my wedding present. And the
Whatever.
father's happy he's a pig and shit. He's just like, oh my God, 2 pigs for one daughter. Latvia.
But then as soon as like the Igor like kisses her, you can see she's like, ugh. It's like, yeah, why didn't you think? When you can't think, you're an idiot.
Yep, exactly.
So then he decides,
You answer your own question.
Yeah. So it's like, so he just decides, all right, I'm going to go to America. But also part of the deal with Madame Zeroni taking the pig was that once he was done doing all this, he was supposed to carry Madame Zeroni up the mountain and let her drink the water while he sang the song. But he forgot to do that. So that means him and his children and his children's children will be cursed forever.
Forever and ever and ever.
Lightning crashes.
Yzma.
So every time something bad happens to Stanley Yelnats and any of his family, they always say like, "Oh, it's the curse."
The curse is doing it, and the movie it really is, but the book,
it's real in the book, but the family doesn't have like legitimate frustration towards it. It's more of like when something bad happens, you're like, "Oh, it's the curse." But
Great.
But in the book, it does feel like it kind of exists. But also, the way it handles it in the book, it's kind of just makes sense.
It's not enough. They don't consider it
It's
like
not
a
as
hindrance.
heavy-handed.
It's not a hindrance as much to their life. It's just like, everyday like bullshit. They're like, the curse, the curse.
Yeah, just whenever something goes wrong, you're just like, oh, it's because we're cursed.
Nice little family dynamic.
Exactly.
Aw.
It's like an inside. It's like an inside joke with your family.
It's the Yelnats inside joke.
Yeah.
And then they're fucking. All right, and I think there's just scenes about.
They're just digging the hole, and like this
Yeah.
is when he learns like every time you finish a hole, you spit in it, and that's like you're done. So you spit in the hole every time you're done.
I noted like there was another like bad group group therapy was like a terrible group therapy scene. Like, is there any like movie that I can't think of one in recent memory that has made group therapy look like fun or nice or like helpful? It's always seen as just like I always picture.
I'm too cool for this.
Yeah, there's one guy that's like that. There's a lot of people that are like very earnest, like, come on, man, let's share, let's rap. And then, or there's someone that's so above it, he like berates the people in the group therapy session. That's a very common like trope. Or the person running the group therapy session, like Dr. Pendansky, is bad, so he just makes people feel terrible during it. Like, it's just, and honestly, that's kind of cool because it kind of ties into why a lot of people have problems with camps like this, because most of like the the tough, like this camp is kind of modeled like a tough love. We're gonna like work them and give them like structure and this, that, and the other. Like a lot of those like these wilderness camps and those types of boot camps were founded because of like the whole tough on crime and tough love craze of like the 80s and like 70s, 80s, and 90s. People were down for that shit, so they would hire people that were not necessarily like counselors. They would call them counselors and pay them like a pittance, and then they're basically just guards, and they would have kids that would have they have too much control over the kids. Like most of the boot camp stories that like you hear are never good. Kids have died at the camps. Like there's been dozens of kids that have passed away at these camps that are still active today. I might post like some of them that are like had like some of like one of the major like issues. But as a whole, like most of the research that I did, it was like most of the gains that one of these kids would get at a tough love, like boot camp type thing would kind of like disappear if like, once they leave that environment, if they haven't been taught like, any proper life skills or how to cope, any coping mechanisms. Because a lot of the kids, these are juveniles, but like, they have records or they have, abuse in their past or something that happened that made them want to be here. And if you're in a boot camp, like wake up 5 a.m., run, I'm going to scream at you until like, we're going to break you down and build you up, but we don't talk about how you were abused and why, you want to like do bad things and this and that. Like the recidivism rate is like very high for the kids that eventually leave these types of camps. So the most of the camps that do well are camps that offer counseling, and they may still wake up early, but it's like hiking or nature, like more like camp shit, not weird prison culture. Because like the whole movie, it's very prison culture-esque. Like there's gangs, like there's a hierarchy, like that happens at these types of boot camps between the people that are at the camp. The guards are very like Mr. Sir is very abusive in this movie. Like Dr. Pendanski calls Zero stupid at every chance he can get, berates the other kids. Like it does a very good job portraying. And the warden is only really in it for her own self-interest. Like she doesn't give a shit about the kids. So the movie does a very good job portraying that aspect of it too. It's like there is a very dark underbelly of like a business. Like it's because people like send their kids to these camps, so it's money. So it's billions of dollars for like these camps that don't have a lot of credence. It doesn't really do anything in comparison to the other methods that can happen to it. So that's like it was cool. It was cool looking at that and being like, oh, good. Even in this regard, Holes is doing a very good job tackling a pretty dark issue, and but little small moments like they work and they're not really getting help, and they can't really talk to their parents. That happens a lot where they'll actually look at the letters, and or sometimes a lot of camps will do the first month you're there, no contact with your family. Jeez. Like no phones, no letters. They see it as like, well, you need to earn the privilege to talk to your family now because you're in the camp. You're here for a reason. You're a bad boy and or girl. So so even that scene where he's kind of lying to the mom, I was like, that kind of happens too. Like they'll make some of them will literally be over the kid's shoulder, kind of just being like, hey, make sure you lie because otherwise you'll be in solitary confinement for 2 days. Solitary confinement's a big thing in the camps. Like the worst versions of these camps, I should say. Not all of them are the worst, but the fact that some of them have been reported, some of them probably haven't. So it's just the movie does a good job of making sure that you're aware of like the dangers of stuff like this. Kind of like you said, like American Fantasy, where it's like, hey, listen, like just be careful because the parents were also too one thing I learned too, a lot of the parents didn't have a choice sometimes because the laws in their state, like South Dakota, I think, or I have to look up again, but there's a couple of southern states where it was like if you call the police and your kid's caught doing something truant or something along those lines, the judge could rule they're getting sent to this juvenile court or juvenile camp without any say-so on your part. So even that control is taken away from you, and your kid might get sent to like some bullshit for just because it was we're tough on crime, so this is the way we feel is the right way to help it. It comes from a good place because they want to help the kids do better and whatnot, but you need results, otherwise you're causing more crime down the line, and just like any other jail, like it's people learn to be better criminals in jail. Like Stanley learns how to hotwire the car.
He just steals it. He's a hotwire.
You know what I mean, though, like in terms of like how I work with the car and operate, and like he wouldn't get the idea like I'm gonna like fuck this up. It's good for the plot and everything, but it shows another thing. It's like you learn some shit when you're around people that are juveniles or delinquents or whatever. Like so, you gotta make sure the biggest thing is not recovery. What is it? Rehabilitation. That's the word I'm looking for. That should be the main the main secret sauce when you're trying to like house people, especially when it's like a bunch of boys in like a camp. Like, bro, like they're gonna beat the shit. They're gonna beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, so after Stanley finishes his first hole and he goes back to like get showered and stuff, that's when Mr. Sir pulls a gun on him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh no, and he's like, don't you move, and you see like this really bad CGI
The
lizard.
worst CGI I've seen
really
in a Disney
bad.
movie in a long time, because they didn't really do the CGI that much in the movie. Just
really.
the lizards.
The lizards, and then maybe some green screen, but
Basket lizards.
yeah, they don't look good.
Maybe they're hard to move because they're so fast, maybe, and they had to jump. Like,
Yeah, because in the book it's like they jump, so I guess you need to get that.
And how are you going to like get the scene shooting it without damaging, or even trying to get that real time? Like, come on.
So Jon Voight shoots the lizard, and it's like, now go back to your tent. And then Jon Voight's like, as he's going in his tent, he's like crab walking around.
Does he shoot his gun again?
Yeah, he shoots it a few more times. And it's just like, where are the lizards? You don't see them. It's like, you're firing a gun at a camp where a bunch of kids are sleeping in tents around you.
Tents, not buildings.
Yeah, like, what are you doing, man?
When you told me that before, I forgot, like, fuck, it is just tents.
But he accidentally shot a kid.
Especially if, like, because, like, sometimes the desert ground's, like, hard, or, like, who knows? Like, don't be shooting the gun that fucking close, Jon Voight, but he's being Yosemite Sam, so.
Yeah, he's weird in this.
Yeah, but, so, after that, like, scene, is there another flashback, or is he, like, oh, wait, no, I think, like, Stanley starts teaching Zero a little bit with, like,
no, it
or
doesn't happen yet.
what happens? Because, like,
it's just more like like seeing like
montage, or just
kind of like a
digging.
montage, like Stanley being like, "This is what's been going on. It really sucks." I get lots of words of encouragement, and that's when they cut to like Mr. Pendensky being like, "Smells like puke on a mule that's been ruminating for 2 weeks," and then they're all just kind of playing a pool around the rec room, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
It's another weird thing. It's like, let's give the juvenile delinquents pool cues.
Yeah,
I'm sure that nothing bad can happen there.
I mean, Zero. Oh yeah, like because in one of the scenes, like I made note about. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, a very good point. That
happens a little later. It's when they're about to get in a fight. You see Zero literally just grab one
like
of
an
the balls.
an 8-ball.
Yeah,
just,
it's
like
like,
kind of
that
palm
would
it.
mess someone
That
up.
yeah, and the fact that like it hadn't happened yet, and we still have like the pool table here, like that's probably the most like bullshit part of the movie. Like the pool table would have been gone very quickly if fights occur, because all Stanley did was like kind of bump into the kid, and then he was ready to like punch him in the like, all right, we're go time. But that happens, man. Like a bunch of just, you got nothing to do, you're bored, and like, and also from that kid, he looked older, so the camp ages may have ranged. Like who knows how old some of these kids are? They could be close to 18. So he's about to hit it like an almost adult's about to hit young Shia LeBeouf.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets his nickname at that point too. He gets like caveman down the line.
Yeah, so then Stanley finds a little fossil. He finds like a little fish in fossilized rock, and it's like, because if you find something interesting, you get the day off. So he shows Mr. Pendensky. He's like, oh, like I found this. Do I get the day off? Something interesting. He's like, sorry there, Stanley. Bored ain't looking for rocks.
He's like,
or
what's
fossils.
interesting? He's like, that's not it.
That's not it.
Keep digging.
Keep digging. So it's like, are we looking for something? Are we not looking for something? I don't know. And then that's when we do a little flashback to Sam selling his onions. We flash back to what the town was like before, when the lake was still there, back in like the late 1800s, and you see Sam, Sam the Onion Man. He's kind of like a magical black man.
Yeah,
like Madame Zeroni kind of was too.
Well, I think like he's more of like a medicinal black man. So in this one, he's the black man that has like all like the cure-alls, like the salves, like
onions cure everything apparently.
Yeah,
miracle onions.
Yes.
I've been feeding my donkey onions and she's over 100 years old. Oh, Sam, you're not even 25. Ha 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 ha.
Yes, I'm so handsome. He's like, I see you look at me, Miss Sally. Or Kate, or Miss, I don't know
Miss
why.
Sally.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
why.
that was Song of the South.
That's what it is. I was like, it's someone banging around.
No, Kate.
Kate. Who's in like? Do you remember the actress that plays Kate?
It's Patricia Arquette.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I see her a bunch of shit. I'm like,
She's
I should know your name.
She's the beautiful school teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who actually is like teaching the whole town like to read. Like you kind of like see like the owner. He's the owner's son or grandson of like the lake.
He's the son.
He's a son.
Yeah.
Is Tom.
My boat is on the lake, but my daddy owns the lake.
Trout Walker.
Trout Walker.
Gold tooth equals bad guy. Gold tooth equals bad guy. He always just like every time he smiles, like, hey, don't forget the gleam.
Yeah. So this is Zero asks him. This is when Zero asks if he can teach him to read.
Okay.
can't read. He's like, I'm not a good teacher, but then he decides I'm going to teach him to read. Yeah,
And
nice,
just bonding.
nice,
Then
they
it's bonding
over
with
teaching.
writing letters. CAT, cat. You know, just any scene that you've seen like that. It's that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's...
we're getting incrementally better.
Yeah.
Montage. There's like, am I like remembering the movie wrong? Where it's just like, you know, like digging, and then like they find stuff, and then digging. They really like don't find something, and then, you know, digging intercut with, you know,
flashbacks.
Yeah, so it's just like it's a lot. I mean, which makes sense because it's the whole point is like they have to keep finding. They're going to keep digging until they find.
It's kind of monotonous, and it should be.
Yeah, because like the more I think about it, it's like, and then another scene with digging, and then this and that.
They find something. This is when he finds a little golden bullet that says KB on it or whatever it is. And X-Ray's like, no, it's mine. I get the day off. I will find it.
I think that that's when like Stanley kind of like does the reverse psychology where it's like, well, what I meant to say was it'd be smart because he was like, hey, that's dumb. Like, what do you mean dumb? It's like, well,
you already almost done your whole.
Why don't you just wait till tomorrow so you get the full whole day off? And then he was like, right, caveman, you live today. Like, you lucky you said that shit. I said that for like the actually no. Okay, I just have the warden come down and like, wait, I came down here for a bullet? Who put this here? Who wasted my time for this? Is it a gold bullet? No, it's a regular peanut bullet. Just smacks Dr. Pendanski, and I swear to God, you know why we're here. You know what we're here for. Just keep him digging the same area. Keep him digging the same area. He doesn't get a day off. He doesn't earn a day. And then like she just like gets in the truck and it's like, you know what? No water.
Oh my God. She's not that evil.
I know. Like, honestly, Mr. Sir acts more evil than the warden does, or at least like more of like a standoffish piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because like also that's the warden's character too. Like she's like she still knows all the people's names, like all the nicknames of the kids and the inner workings of the camp.
She's got bugs everywhere.
Yeah, which is creepy when you think about the kids like shower outside. So are the bugs there? And even there's a scene where like he's looking when he's taking a shower. He's like, am I safe here? Like, is this okay?
Can she see me?
Like, what's your game?
I am a child.
I'm Shia LeBeouf. I'm trying to escape the system.
Yeah, so she finds it and it's the KB, and you find out it's a tube of lipstick, and they're like, this is dig here. I got a good feeling about this, boys, and they're all digging and. Because of the fact
the holes get like way more like it becomes like a whole like excavation.
Yeah, it becomes an excavation and everything, and they even but also the audience knows that they're all digging in the wrong spot.
Yep, because X-Ray had just put like took it out of his pocket and like, oh, look at that,
just threw it into a hole.
Here we go.
But it wasn't where Stanley had found it.
Hell no. So this the idea like archaeologist, man, like is crazy, crazy profession. That's all I thought about this movie. It's like, what if you did just like find one thing and you were like, discovery, but you just spent a month digging in just the wrong direction. Like because like all Stanley did was like it was just he found the shit like he digged in the opposite way. Yeah. And it only took was like a day maybe, and they spent. Do you even know how much time passes like each? Because like a lot of scenes of like day
in the
night.
book, I think it's like weeks. And as the weeks go on, the warden is there less and less and less.
Oh yeah, because like
she starts not believing it anymore. So as more time goes on, and eventually
weeks of digging in the wrong direction.
And then eventually they just are like, all right, we're just gonna go back to doing single holes.
Yep. And we're just gonna.
But also, the kids now know it's like, we are looking for something. Mm-hmm. Like, we're looking for something.
Yeah, because
What are we looking for?
Like, and can you? Well, also too, it's like the incentive now. Like one kid's like, wait, we can find it, we can leave.
I know, right?
We just get the hell out of here.
But also, what happens if you find it? They can't just let them go. Oh no, they're children, Damon.
I mean, like they kind of do that towards the end of the movie, like so.
Yeah, so while they're digging, we get more Kate and Sam flashbacks.
Oh,
Sam, I'd love some of your onions. Can I give you my onions? What?
Let me give you my onions.
Well, that's what he does. He sells onions. I don't know.
Hot.
So they're making deals. It's like, if you could fix the roof, so the children can have a better time. When it rains, it leaks. And it's like, I can fix that.
Oh yeah, and it's like it's the scene where it's raining. They're in the schoolhouse alone.
No.
It was before that. Okay.
Because she's got to fix some stuff first.
Oh, all right. He's got to keep fixing stuff.
So in the book makes it seem like it's like, like she wants to just keep him around. It's like, well, the roof's leaking. Can you fix that? And it's like, I can fix that. And then after he's done fixing the roof, and it's like, well, thank you for doing the job. Like, here are the peaches, because she makes the best spiced peaches ever. So she gives him the peaches for fixing the roof. And it's like, thank you so much. And she's like, the windows, this building's so old, the windows don't open. If there was, I wish they could open so the children could be there in the summer. And Sam goes, I can fix that. And then while they're fixing it, and she's like reading a poem to a kid, partway through it, Sam completes the poem. And what does she ask for after? She asks for something else, and he's like, I can fix that. I kept hoping that like it would get more and more preposterous of things that need to get fixed. It's like, Sam, I need you to move the schoolhouse somewhere else. I mean, I can try to fix that. I don't know if old Mary Lou, the old donkey, can pull an entire house, but I can try.
Sam, little Becky's heart's failing. She needs a new heart. I definitely can't fix that.
The onion juice is good, but I don't know if it's that good.
Sam. My father needs his racism fixed. Like, just, please, Kate.
You're asking a lot.
This is really
I'm
hot.
an onion farmer.
I thought we were building towards a kiss. This is getting way too involved.
Oh my god. But then also, like, while that montage is happening, they do that little scene with my daddy owns the lake, and like because she teaches adults too, because like a lot of the adults in the area, like they're all farmers, so they don't have much of an education. So at night she would do night school that they talk about in the book, and of course Trout Walker's there, just like
Piece of shit.
He's just the kid who talks during class, and it's like, why are you here? You're a grown man. Yeah. But he's there because he wants to check out the hot teacher.
Yeah, he really is hot.
Miss Catherine. And she's like, hey, you want to come on my tugboat? You don't need to row it. She's like, no, thank you. It's like, no, you don't understand. Like, no one needs to row the boat. You can come on it on the lake that I own. She's like, I'm good. It's like, no one says no to
Trout
Walker.
Walker.
She's like, I just did. And then like a huge mic drop. Like you can tell in the background, Sam just wants to be doing the but he can't because it's the late 1800s.
The times don't let him do the dark times.
Yeah.
Truly dark times. And then which was it was cool to just see like good female character. I mean like nope, like fuck you.
And there's just like a montage of Kate like longingly looking at him while like a song plays. It's like, I love you, but we can't love each other. If only we lived in a different time.
Thank God that I can just fantasize for now.
So she's like, Sam's on his boat, rowing the boat, and she's like looking out of their schoolhouse, and it's like, Sam. And then we cut away to she's inside the schoolhouse reading, and it's raining, and you see water dripping, and you're like, oh no, Sam didn't fix the roof correctly. But that's not what happened at all. She's just crying, David. She's crying because something's wrong. She's like, Sam, my heart, it hurts too much. And he's like, I can fix that. And then they lock lips.
Miscegenation.
But then the evil bad guy, Trout Walker, sees it and he's like, brah, brah,
blacks and whites, and she didn't
not in the town that my daddy owns.
She didn't want me, but she wanted him. Yeah. That's his problem now.
So then they burn the school down, burn it down to the ground.
Yep.
And she's going to the sheriff like, Sheriff, you gotta help, they're burning the school down. He's like, give me a kiss, and I'll think about helping you. It's like, what? No. It's like, well, you kissed that onion picker, but I don't know. Did you catch that? Like, I feel like
I didn't actually.
I feel like he hesitates. Where it's like, I honestly like to think the actor is like, you kissed that, and he said something horrible, and they're like, whoa, Dave, this is a PG Disney movie. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me look at it again. You kissed that onion picker. Great work, man. Again, PG kids movie. Yeah, I did. I forgot. I was so in character.
No, listen, man. No, character
you're
piece.
In character.
It's character piece.
That's what your character would say, but not in a Disney movie. That's not what he'd say.
PG.
Onion picker.
Look, use that same rage and virulent racism, but say onion picker.
He's also getting drunk doing shots. Like, you're drunk. He's like, yeah, I always get drunk before a hanging.
Yeah, because he basically says like it's not against the law for you to kiss him, but it's against the law for him to kiss you. Yeah,
because she says hang me along with him because I kissed him back.
Yeah, he's like, no, you're white. He's like, silly. You're silly.
You're white.
Silly girl. Don't forget, the black isn't spread.
Oh, God.
You're safe from that. We're still gonna kill him, but still.
Yes. And then she's like running out to try to save him, and you see Mary Lou, the very old donkey's dead. You see blood out around it too. Yeah. And then you just see Sam in his little rowboat, and then you see the tugboat getting closer. And she's like, Sam.
Yeah. And then it's because I almost called him tugboat. the Trout Walker is the one that's the one that kills him, or is it because it's his boat?
It's his boat.
I would assume he'd be the one, but
I assume he did it because he was the one who was all for burning the school down, and he's the one who caught them kissing in the movie.
True.
In the book, it's someone else who caught him, but like they got caught by this town.
Didn't you say like the old woman would be like,
God, in the book, it's she kisses him out in the rain. It's like
Ooh,
it's even more romantic in it, which
sexy.
makes it even more heartbreaking when it's someone else sees them kissing. And it's like God will punish you, and I think it's like because in the flashback there is like a couple. They do flesh out some of the townspeople a little more, and I think that character is.
They do. Oh, they do.
A little bit, but not a lot.
Just enough to like add to the flashbacks.
More than the movie does.
Okay, I mean, like, why would you add more? You already know about Trout Walker, like Sam, like Miss Catherine. So in the movie, why would you need like anyone else?
Yeah, and you just put that all in Trout because there's a lot in this movie going on. Like there's a lot of storylines, and they do a good job of flowing through all of them.
And the fact, once again, like I was talking about the movie doing a good job of representing, like, some of the darker elements of the juvenile boot camps. They do a very good job of showing like what happens when there are interracial relationships in the late 1800s to the early 1900s. Like me and my wife's like marriage wasn't legal until 1967. So we're still in this time period. We're still a long way away from this being anywhere close to okay. Even then, when it was legal, they were like, ain't right. and I mean the attitude towards interracial relationships, even since like I've been in high school, I've noticed a difference. I'm just like, it's kind of just like so like whatever. Like that's what I've noticed the most.
What it should be.
It was it's been great. It's like, of course, like, we're all just gonna be Shia LeBeouf eventually. I'll just get it over with.
And then we'll find something else to not like each other.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the first one to be like, guys, we don't have to be bored anymore.
I thought it was some bigotry.
Yeah.
No, get him.
He became the next king.
What?
They made him a king.
What, the king of being a bigot?
No. All the people are so excited. Like, we get to be terrible again.
I don't like this future society you're predicting.
Hey, listen, man. Like, you're the one that said that we'll find something else to be like awful towards. So it is what it is.
I'm part of the problem.
We're both part of the problem. We're both part of the problem.
Damn. We were so close.
So close, but so far. Just like Jon Voight's portrayal of Mr. Sir. He got the asshole right, but he didn't need to become like
a weird crab man. A weird crab Yosemite Sam.
Oh god, that really does come up, like the good themes, the good concepts, and Jon Voight just being like very jarring because the more you talk about, the more it really is dying on me. He doesn't fit in the movie at all, right? Because the movie does.
If he was in with the flashbacks, I'd get it, but he's not.
Oh, that's such a good point. If Jon Voight was literally a cartoonish,
make him Trout Walker.
Or Trout Walker's dad, or someone who's just as cartoonishly like over the top, because you're literally burning a school building down. Like,
death to knowledge. All I learned in this school was how to start a fire. No, Johnny, you just learned your ABCs. I'm gonna unlearn them.
Attaboy. His dad's like, attaboy, Johnny.
All you need to know how to do is push that hoe.
You don't need to learn nothing from some woman that kissed that onion picker.
Onion picker?
Why do we say onion picker? Don't we usually say...
We're in a PG Disney movie. Pa, what do you mean? You're being really existential now, Pa.
Very Wow, I know that word.
Why can't I say it? I want to say it, but I can't. I simply can't. Onion picker. Onion picker? Onion picker.
And then, like, the fadeaway just kind of...
Wait, what's happening? Are we disappearing?
What is our life? That's all I think about with flashbacks is, like, what happens as they're flashing back. They're just unraveling in the time-space containers. Jesus, I was just at my wedding.
No, I don't exist anymore.
Oh, fuck.
It's hot in the recording studio. I think we're getting delirious.
A little bit, just a little bit. It's like,
it's
like 85 degrees.
We're like the kids in holes.
Oh, dig them up.
Except for all you have to do is sit and talk.
Oh,
it's so much harder for us.
Digging up the holes, dig them. I'll admit them, it's dig them.
So then after, it's the next day, and
what?
Kate Barlow walks in the sheriff's office and all dialed up, and it's like, you want that kiss now, Sheriff? And he's like, yeah, sure, I can't read a room, so I'd love you to kiss me.
What tone?
What?
What tone? I'm here.
Of course you're not mad. You've already forgot about that Indian picker, because I know you're ready to kiss whoever you want. Here's the kiss. Shot in the face. They don't show it,
I
but...
always love, like, the little tiny guns, like, the some Westerns will have, like, little 1 or 2 shooters, because, like, you could just conceal that. You were like she was dressed up, like, look beautiful, like, he's not expecting shit, let alone, like, her pulling
She's
out...
the sweet, nice teacher.
She's just yesterday.
Yeah, just yesterday.
Is she still a school teacher with her building being fucking burned to the ground? Like, where else is she gonna teach now?
She's a teacher of death.
Fine, seriously. She goes on a tear.
She shoots him and then kisses his corpse and becomes Kissin' Kate Barlow.
Kissing Kate.
Legendary outlaw.
She'd kiss him, she'd have killed him. Because I think, like, when that flashback happens, it also goes to, like...
It's like literally a montage of her robbing banks while,
Yeah.
like, a country song's playing, like, my life is hard, I used to be good, but now I'm bad, robbing them banks.
They killed that hot black guy. I like that hot black guy.
Sam.
He fixed stuff for me. He could have fixed my heart.
But he couldn't fix systemic racism.
Not yet. He's only one onion salesman.
I can fix anything for love, but I can't fix that.
We don't expect you to, Meatloaf. Is that Meatloaf? I wasn't sure if I was right.
Yeah,
Okay. I said that, like, so confidently, and I was like, wait. I retract. So she's murdering, and does it cut to her?
And that's when you basically know what they're looking for is Kate Barlow's treasure.
Yeah.
Because you find out that Kate Barlow robbed Stanley's great-grandfather while he was in the desert, and while he was in the desert, like, she left him there for dead.
Yeah, I think he was, like, where he robbed, like, his stagecoach got, like, fucked.
Yeah,
like,
she robbed
fucked
his
up.
stagecoach when he was, like, going across the desert.
Like, I forget where they were, because I don't know where, like where they're at in Texas. I just know they're in Texas. I just don't know
forget where he was going.
Yeah, but
he's going somewhere, and he happened to come across Kate Barlow, and she robbed him.
And that's how we're introduced to God's thumb too.
Yeah,
there's like, how are you surviving in the desert, Grandpa?
He was in the desert with no food or water for 14 days, and all he said was he found God's thumb, and, like, no one knew what it was because he was delirious. He went crazy.
14 days in the desert, like,
so no one knew. So he got found by, like, snake poachers or something. I forget.
Because I'm remembering, like, with the weird ass
like
job.
Hunters find him and they're like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay, man?" And he was like, "God's thumb." Okay.
You made it, dude. Like, you're the only one that made it. Like, kissing Kate Barlow didn't kill you.
Good for you, man. But what she did to you might be worse. But then, like, they even say, like, he got rehabilitated while he was in the hospital, and the nurse that helped him get back to health, he's actually who he ended up marrying.
Oh, nice. Was that in the movie, or was that?
Book.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if, like, that was a scene.
We don't got time for that. We already got 3 flashbacks going on.
There are, like,
There's a lot happening in this movie.
They do use the flashbacks pretty well. I never felt like they were tacked on. Like, they
easily could have.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, this movie could have, if the director was more indulgent, they could have easily been like, more flashbacks, or, like, we're gonna add this little scene, or, like you said, flesh out the town people more, or whatever. It was just like, we give them 10-minute flashback,
it's not
5-minute.
It's just not necessary.
5-minute flashback. Like, it's enough. It's enough. And then, do we see, like, Kate get got yet, or is that towards the end?
No, that's not until later.
Okay, because, like, the flashbacks,
you just know she's robbing banks, and, like, she's Kate Barlow and wanted poster, and she robbed another bank, and then they kind of just go back to it's present time now. And what is happening in the present time?
Oh yeah.
They steal the sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Sir, he's been chewing the sunflower seeds the whole movie because he quit smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And those help him, I guess, but not really. He's miserable.
Yeah, because, like, it's the oral fixation.
So,
like, nicotine.
So one of the kids steals it. I forget which. I think it's Magnet steals it.
Yeah, and does he throw it?
So they're, like, tossing it to each other. Like, yeah, you get some, you get some. And then when they throw it to Stanley, they throw it, like, bag open, and the whole thing just pours out in Stanley's bag. And then while that happens, Mr. Sir drives back and then finds Stanley, and he's like, "Oh, I know it was you." It's like, "You gotta go to the warden now." And it's like, "Tell the warden what happened." And he's like, when Mr. Sir wasn't looking, I stole his sunflower seeds.
And in this scene, Sigourney Weaver opened the door. Sigourney Weaver is in a sports bra, bare midriff, open flannel shirt, and, I think sunglasses, maybe, like, a Texan hat. The woman's 54 years old in this movie. Like, my God. Timeless.
Hello, Sigourney.
Yeah, like rewatching this movie, I was like, maybe this is why I like. I was like, did this awaken something in me as a child? Who knows? But the fact she's 50, she doesn't look 50 fucking 4. Like,
Beautiful.
Wild.
Ripley.
Sigourney! But then, like, so Mr. Sir is like, I'm so mad, and she's gonna be so mad too.
Yeah, and the whole time she thought it was like news of like you found something.
More shit.
And it's like, oh, that's why do I care?
And she's like, Stanley, can you do me a favor? Can you just go to that Schiffer robe over there and get my nail polish? And it's like the most real gaudy like nail polish set. And there's one where she's like, she gets it, starts swirling the shit all malicious. Like, oh yeah, this is was it the yellow
rattlesnake?
Okay, it was the rattlesnake venom. So it was like, oh yeah, what was her reasoning for doing the...
Because like the colors like glisten more.
Crazy, some crazy villain.
It's
shit.
harmless when it's dry. And she scratches Mr. Sir.
Like, for wasting her goddamn time.
Pretty much.
It's like, come on now. Like, you know better than this. Like, it's your fault that, like, the kids got... Like, so you're complaining to me about the kids one-upping you? Like, this is what this is. Like, they got over on you, and you're mad about it.
Why are you bringing this to me?
Dude,
you know I only care about one thing.
Like, also,
treasure.
that's like any... I feel like that'd be any camp counselor situation where it's like, wait, why are you bringing this kid here?
Handle
Like,
this yourself.
what the hell, dude? Like, I'm the director... Take away, like, all the other stuff. I'm the director of this camp, and your sunflower seeds got taken. Why is it my problem? Like, of course I'm gonna scratch you with my venom claws.
I'm the villain.
Yeah, because she really is like the unseen force for most of it. So
she's not introduced until like 45 minutes into the movie.
Is this the first time we actually see her?
No, the first time we see her is with the
Like,
lipstick.
oh yeah, yeah.
She's like, I got a good feeling about today.
That's right. That's always, isn't that the best trope? I got a good feeling about XYZ, and it's like, shut up. Movie.
Now you're definitely not gonna find
movie. You know better than that.
Yeah, so then that's also when Stanley realizes they're looking for the treasure because her house is just covered in Kate Barlow stuff.
Yeah. And I forgot about, like, there is like just a shrine almost, just like all like the news snippets, because you would try to research as much as humanly possible, just like get like a map of where the shit could be. But Texas is the fact that it's in Texas too, dude, it's a big ass.
Also, the book says that Green Lake, it expands over 5 miles. So now it's dried up. It's 5 miles of desert that you have to go through.
Jesus, and you have like a child labor force of just digging 5 foot by 5 feet holes.
Yeah, I mean, they dig for almost like 100 years.
Damn.
I mean, if you think about it,
like the generations. Like I was thinking about like the time frame of like how much the Warden's family has been like dedicating to like finding this shit.
Trout Walker is her. You find out Trout Walker. I mean, we might as well just get to it now. You find out Trout Walker is her grandfather.
And which is like weird because like kind of I don't know what timeline the movie is like.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
How old like Trout Walker would be? I mean, it would if he was like real young, because like we don't know how young the people are in the flashbacks. They look older because like in our eyes we're seeing them as older actors.
And then you assume that when you see child Sigourney Weaver, it's probably like the 50s
from the way that the car looks.
The cars.
Like,
So I mean, this guy could be in his 80s or 90s. It's possible.
Yeah.
Also, he's consumed by hate and greed, so it's gonna keep him alive a little longer.
I've met some. We've all guys. You've all met some spiteful ass old people. So he's like, oh, treasure. I will literally. He died in a hole. Like he had to have died in the hole.
I don't know if the book ever says what happens. I think it's just assumed he dies.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't get it.
He's just living for it. He's just like, he's still digging. Forget. Some say he's still out there digging.
You don't see Ghost him digging. You just see...
He was not one with the Force.
Oh, you're right.
Not one with the Force.
You're right.
Hate leads to the dark side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like they're doing like montages of them like reading and him helping him, and it's like... That's why they get in the fight with the kids, where it's like, "Hey man, like eat my cookie, and please have my cookie, so I can dig your hole for you. I want to dig your hole for you," because they're all just taunting him.
Yeah.
Because Stanley's not digging his hole, because the deal with teaching him reading is I'm not gonna have a ton of energy at the end of the day. So, but since you dig your hole so fast, I'll dig my hole. Then if you can help with the last part of it, that'd be I'll have more energy to teach you. And they're like, great, that seems like a fair deal. But of course, the other kids don't like that.
Yeah. Because, how dare you get, like, the fastest digger to help you dig a hole.
Yeah.
That's all.
Or how dare you get help.
Yeah, no, that's true. And it's like
regardless.
Crabs in the bucket. Like, we're all struggling, dude. We're not letting you make the shit easier.
Yeah, and that's when he gets in a fight with Zigzag, and then Zero like almost kills him.
Yeah, he basically like
puts him in a chokehold.
Yeah, like it shows that like Zero knows what's up. No matter how small you are, like if you cut someone's windpipe off, it does not matter. Like he surprised him, got behind him, and is like did not let go.
You can just tell. Which that's not a good visual storytelling with Zero. Now I think about it, it's like because you find out throughout the movie that he lives on the street for months, and you can now seeing the way he acts in certain situations, you can just see like this primal instinct to Zero.
Survive because when Stanley's getting his like caveman moniker, when he accidentally starts a fight, Zero is like he picks up an 8-ball and just ready to just like basically bash someone's head in. Then he Zigzag does something and he pounces into action. Zigzag
Zigzag's
not
like
even
a
know.
big kid too.
He's one of the tallest people in the movie.
In the book, he's the biggest kid.
So okay, cool. So
like, height-wise, at least.
Yeah. So like he literally jumps up on him and chokes the biggest.
Zero's the smallest kid.
Chokes the biggest kid out, and if they hadn't stopped him, he would have killed. He would have killed Zigzag.
Yeah, Pandesky pulls out a shotgun and shoots in the air. It's like when I say stop, that means stop, because he lets the fight happen with Caveman and Zigzag. Mm-hmm. Just because, you're a sick guard. Yeah. He's the bad guy, I see.
Yeah, no, we gotta let him tire himself out, Yeah. Gotta give him some energy. Or they can't have too much energy, I should say.
Yeah, and then he's just so mean to Zero. It's like, look at that dumb idiot. He doesn't know nothing. It's like, what do you mean? And then that's when the warning comes out, too. It's like, what's happening? It's like, Caveman digs his hole like everyone else. It's like, well, not always, because sometimes Zero helps him. And it's like, well, why? But then that's when it's like, what? He's like, well, I'm teaching him to read. Like, that's the deal. If I teach him to read, like, he helps. And it's like, what? You can't teach him to read. He's an idiot. He's got nothing going on in his head. He's a big old dummy. Look at that dumb, dull, dummy. And then the movie doesn't show this. That I think is kind of important. It's pretty important in the book, because the book shows that he's like a math whiz. Like when Stanley tells him how many letters he'll learn a day, he like breaks down. He knows exactly like how many letters he'll learn each day and how long it will take. And Stanley's like, how did you do that? Did you add or subtract? He's like, what do you mean? That's just what it is. And Stanley's like, yeah, that is what it is. But you use like addition or subtraction? He's like, I don't know what you mean. Like, that's just what it is. So there's like this little bit of just Zero's a math is like pretty good with math. He just doesn't know it because he's been homeless most of his life and he hasn't been formally educated. But Stanley sees it in him, and Stanley even says like to the warden and everything, like, he's a smart kid. But in the movie, you're just kind of like, I guess he's learning fast. But in the book, you understand more why he means. Like, he's a smart kid. Like, there's more to him than you know. But Pandesky just keeps crapping all over him.
Yeah, he just completely berates him and like try to keep him down. He even says at one point, he's like, well, the reason why, like, he's all tired because you're filling his head with like all these figures. Like, you gotta focus on digging. That's all he cares about. That's all he's good at.
And he's like, here's a shovel, Zero. Now dig. That's all you're good for.
Can you spell it? Can you spell dig?
And then he just whacks him in the face with the shovel.
Zero hooks off on him with a the movie did a good job of just like showing like the impact. Like just like
it looked painful, but also they play it as a joke more.
Yeah, because the kids are always like, "Oh damn!" Even though a man got hit in the face full force. I don't care how small Zero is. Like that's a
he's the best digger too.
He's strong. Like he could have easily murdered this dude.
Yes, absolutely.
Anytime a movie like does that, where it's like, okay, with a shovel, he's fine. Like what the? No.
Head trauma's fine. You get knocked unconscious, and then you wake up and it's the next scene.
Bottles.
That's what Hollywood has taught me.
Yeah,
is that not the way it is?
Yeah, but
you get knocked unconscious, you just wake up in the next place.
Full bottle of wine knocked over your head. Oh, you're fine. Like just like throwing through windows, you're fucking fine.
Yeah, and then Zero runs away.
Yeah,
and they're like, well, who cares? Zero's a ward of the state. We'll just erase his file.
And they go so little of a shit about like because they're in a tent. They're not even conspiring in the warden's building to like basically unperson Zero. And Stanley like overhears them and he's like, I remember Zero. Like, what the hell are you guys doing? What are you doing? Like they're in his. I mean they're going through his stuff.
Go look for him. You guys have cars. He's on foot.
Yeah,
you'll be able to probably find him if you're just going the direction he's going in. But I guess you have to do your job.
Yeah, man. Realistically, it's like, are we going to risk like losing like our bag? And because we don't want to spend like a couple hours probably going to find this kid because he ran away after he hit you. Like I scratched you with venom claws. Just like come on now. Like what the fuck are we doing?
You're just seeing the deterioration of the bad guys. Where because even as the movie goes on, Jon Voight's face is like more disgusting as it goes on. Where it's like
it's infected. Like
go,
it's gross.
Go seek medical attention.
We're the only war for 100 miles. So maybe like they can't. It's like we will go, like, when we can make the trip. I remember that from the very beginning of the movie. It was like, oh, so he's like, because they were trying to like show there's no point of escaping because it's like we're no. I thought it was like, oh, this is like a prison oasis. It's just like you can't leave because if you go out and it's death. Yeah. 360 degrees, spin,
Die.
death.
You will die.
Don't do it. You need water.
So it's just more montage of them digging because it's holes. So
how many days is does it show
So
how many days have
don't-
gone since Zero dips and then
I think it's weeks.
Damn, really?
I think he's going for like 2 weeks.
Holy shit! Because the movie made it seem like it was a couple days. Because the transitions are always hard to kind of gauge.
I think it's like 2 weeks.
Whoa, that's wild.
They do say it.
No
It's
wonder
a
he's
long
dead.
time.
No
They're
wonder
like, he's dead. They're like, he's dead.
Oh, this whole time I thought it was like 4, 5 days.
And then I really like this moment where it's while they're digging the hole, like one day later where Stanley's just thinking about Zero and he starts calling out Zero's name, like Zero, and there's this really nice the score of this movie is so good at certain points, but then other points, it's just like random 2000s songs, and it really takes you out of the movie at some parts. Like the only song I feel like is a good original song is the "Digging Up Them Holes, Dig 'Em," and that's also because the fact that it feels like a prison song, and the kids in this movie sang that song, so it feels so much more genuine and organic. But then when you get like, here's a song by the Baha Men, it's like, okay. But then like there's another moment where the music's playing, I'm like, this feels like Shawshank a little. Like I feel like I'm watching Kid Shawshank right now. This is amazing.
Coming from Kevin, guys, that's high praise. High praise.
It is a lot like Shawshank. They're digging a lot. You got the black and white protagonists in Zero and Stanley.
Yeah, true.
Stanley's also in there wrongfully.
Yeah. Oh, damn. The more you talk about
Kid
it.
Shawshank.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and so like it's just more digging, and is that when the new kid comes too to replace?
Yeah, it's when Twitch shows up.
Twitch.
New kid, Twitch. He's twitchy.
The end.
I'm sure
he did it.
The kids didn't really spend a lot of time thinking about his name. I really think that when he got there, they're like, we're gonna call you Twitch. He's like, yep, that's pretty much every place I've ever been in that's called me Twitch, because he gets twitchy about cars. He wants to steal a car. When he sees a nice car, he just gets twitchy.
Jonesing for
He's
cars.
got to take it. He's got to take it for a ride. He doesn't want to steal it. He just wants to take it for a ride. He'll put it back when he's done.
Yeah, no, and so he's just like, I guess Zero's replacement because he's like the shorter kid. It's kind of like, it's like literally, it seems like the camp was just trying to replace, like,
well, yeah, because they even say like spots don't open up very often at Camp Green Lake, but also they're good racing Zero. But how did they not go, well, where's that other kid? And they're like, there was no other kid.
And
but
like,
there was an opening spot, and what happened to the other kid? He got let go. It's like, no, there just wasn't another kid. Like, that doesn't make sense.
One of the things, it's like, it's they're so confident in like Dr. Pendanski and like going. He's like, he can hack into like the state computers. He's like, I can do anything as long as tell him what to do and I'll do it. But
he's like, I can't erase him, but I'll make it really hard to try to find him.
Yes. But you're just biting yourself in the ass in the grand scheme of things, because you're leaving a paper trail of an unperson. Because like what happens when people interview the kids, or that's literally like boom,
right there, done,
finish, like investigation, like
especially Stanley, like
you're going to jail.
The kid that
you're going
later,
to jail.
because even later it's like the court rules that he is innocent because they realize where he was in certain places and it's like he couldn't have done it. He is innocent, and so this is when Stanley, he just can't take it anymore. He's like, I got to try to find Zero. Like, I'm so worried about him. And he tries to steal Mr. Sir's truck. And, of course, he crashes it into a hole.
Yeah, because he's cheering. That
looking where he's going.
Shia LeBeouf screech. Right? Like, I can't even do it because like it's not doing it justice.
I don't want to scream.
Neither do I. I'm not.
I'll spare you, listeners, of us screaming.
Yeah, just look up Shia LeBeouf screech on. There's like probably like a 10-hour compilation on video
there
on YouTube. Yeah, like 10 hours of Shia LeBeuf screaming.
Okay, I've seen like montages of him when he says no in Transformers movies.
Yep.
He's like,
so
no,
guys, let us know if you can find the Shia LeBeouf screech montage. Comment on one of the things.
Shia LeBeouf.
That classic.
So then Stanley's running away too, and he's just, again, the music is good again too. I love it. It's so, like, this sucks.
It sells it.
There's some of that southern twang guitar where you always get that feeling you're in a hot desert. And all right, and he finds Zero
underneath like a boat. Like,
yeah, he's under the boat, and it's you can tell it was Sam's boat.
Because he has like the.
It says Mary Lou on the boat.
Oh, I didn't see the Mary. I forgot the Mary Lou thing on. Nice. And then like Zero's been surviving off of like he calls
Sploosh.
it sploosh. It's just like mummified peaches. Like,
yeah, it's the spiced peaches.
Spiced peaches.
It's the spiced peaches that Kate Barlow made before she became Kissing Kate for Sam, and that's how he's been surviving. I guess it's just been preserved. It's been in the jars for 100 years, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean the way when the camera like kind of like shows the jars, this is oogie looking. It's just like it's like black.
Well, he gets
goo.
sick from it. Like he gets sick from it even in the book too.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I mean, He drinks like a bunch of them. Like that's how he survives. That's his source of water and food and any sort of nutrients at all.
Yeah, so you can't survive on 2 weeks on like dead peaches.
I think it's so funny when Stanley finds you. He's like, "Oh my God, Zero, I found you. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh, like I can't believe you're alive." And he sees his canteen. He's like, "You got any water?" And Stanley's like, "Nah, I'm empty." Like he says it so enthusiastically. It's like, cool. I mean, it's nice to see you, I guess, but I'm kind of dehydrating today.
I'm fucking dying, man.
Could you say it less gleefully, please?
Yeah, the only thing missing was him clicking his heels in the air. Nope.
All out of water.
Sorry.
We're both gonna die.
I just came to say hi.
Oh
God.
Zero's refusing to go back to the camp. He's like, "I won't dig another hole. I can't go back there." And that's when they see God's thumb, and they decided to walk towards it.
Just from like how the camera showed how far away it was, probably took like maybe like I don't know how it didn't take like a day to probably day or two.
Yeah, I think it takes a while in the book.
To actually get to God's thumb.
Yeah.
To
The
even
movie just does
survive.
like a montage.
Yeah,
but...
montage. This movie is montage city, dude. Like I think that's the reason why I'm surprised actually how much I still didn't enjoy it because it really is a lot montage. If they had messed up like a little bit, I think the only thing I didn't like about the montages were sometimes the music choices, like the scene coming up where they're free climbing up God's thumb to get to survival.
And the song playing is like that's his rock song. It's like, "Don't give up, never give up.
We're doing our best.
Give up, never give up." It's like, where's that great score you had? Where it's like that inspirational
We're
Shawshank?
gonna take one step at a time.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like at any point, and right after that scene, Stanley almost dies. So that could have been
Zero.
Oh, Zero.
Dies.
No, I thought Stanley was the one that was.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Stanley was the one that was
He
about
falls
to
off the
so,
mountain.
Yeah, so imagine if that how much better that scene would have been if, like you said, like it was the poignant.
And
like,
at that point,
good
they actually
music.
they changed the music to more dramatic. It's like if you would have just kept up the dramatics the whole time, this would have been way better.
Yeah, because I would have been like, oh shit, he's gonna make it. If it was more serious, if that same scene was like,
no one's dying in a scene where a rock's saying,
"Don't give up, never give up, can't give up, never give up."
Don't worry, kids, the movie's almost over.
Hey.
Woo! But yeah, no, like I would have loved to see like a precarious like Mission Impossible comes to mind, like something where just like the stakes are these kids have no rope, especially when we've gone like rock climbing. Just that scene, like this music does not fit because even with the ropes and all the safety and the instructors.
Still scary.
No, wrong music. Completely wrong music for the scene.
As someone who's rock climbed, you can know that.
I can. I'll never do it again.
No, you'll do it again.
That's cute. And then we can vote now. Will Damon rock climb ever again? Tune in next year when he gets guilted into rock climbing.
Yep.
So even the music, was the music Walking to God's Thumb good? Like, or was it montage music?
I forget.
Whatever.
It's just every now and then it'll be good music, and then it's weird early 2000s rock, because, I mean, Walt Disney Pictures has got to sell the soundtrack to holes.
Isn't and like, don't they like plug in the credits when
They show it's like available at Disney Records.
No, don't forget.
Buy the soundtrack.
Don't forget. Brand synergy.
Yeah, so they get to the top of God's thumbs, and it's a bunch of onions, and there's a little bit of water.
Oh, and they're hype as hell, and they're
they're not going to starve to death.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. They started fucking those onions up. Is that when Zero like starts puking? Like, is that before or after?
No, right before they get to it.
Before they find the onions.
Zero like pukes up a lot of the
like yellow shit.
And he almost falls off the cliff, and then Stanley carries him up the mountain.
Yes, while singing the song.
While singing the song, because that song's also like a song in the family. Like they both sing it. And even Zero's like, "How do you know this song?"
Oh yeah, didn't he?
Because the family, it's a song in Zero's.
Did we bring up that he calls himself? I mean, we've been saying I think I said Hector at the very beginning, but like,
we did say it. Hector Zeroni.
Yeah,
because Zero is probably like the great grandson of Madame Zeroni.
Yeah, he says Hector Zeroni like very like casually to Stanley. I don't think Stanley makes a big deal about hearing the name like at the moment. He's like, "Oh, Hector Zeroni, okay," and then just kind of goes on. But just in case we have mentioned it, but yeah, so it's Zeroni. He's helping us Zeroni.
He broke the curse.
Thank God.
If the curse exists, which it may or may not, probably does, but it might not.
And at the exact same moment, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as he did that, his father found the cure for foot odor.
Oh yeah, he did.
Found it immediately. That's why the movie like doubles down like fantasy. And it's like peaches and onions. Yes, peaches and onions. And then they almost like get like the wife is like, "Oh yeah,
I don't smell anything.
Oh yeah, baby.
I don't smell a
thing.
thing.
Yeah, baby,
I don't smell anything.
Oh yeah, baby, I can't wait to fuck." Like they're like, we're gonna fuck later. And the grandpa's like, "Can I leave?
I'm gonna go to bed early tonight.
It's 7:00, but you kids have fun. You deserve it, son."
Earplugs. Actually, just take the hearing aid out.
Even wow, what a pimp move I got in my I'm deaf. I almost said blind from my ears. I'm not.
I gone ear blind.
That's what Jon Voight would say. I gone ear blind. Like the way he is in this goddamn movie.
Why is he an esteemed actor in this movie? Makes me wonder.
Kevin thought the internal monologue escaped one more time.
Kevin had to Google one more time. 4-time nominated for an Oscar. 1-time win.
Really?
Really? I mean, that was back in like the 70s.
It still counts, I guess. Whatever.
All right.
Old Hollywood.
Okay.
Never stop being acclaimed. No matter what. And so like they survive. And
they eat the onions, drink the water, and then that's when they're like, let's go back. Let's Oh no! Before they even decide to leave, like Stan's like, "Oh, it's destiny. Like it's just so great. Like everything kind of like they're both better." And it's like we got to go back. It's like I told you I ain't going back. It's like well, we got to go back because like now I know what I'm looking for. Like we should go back and find the treasure. Let's dig one last hole. And it's like all right, but so before they even do that, we have one last flashback to kissing Kate Barlow. She's sitting in the middle of the desert, being like, "I'm so cold, Sam," and then Ghost Sam shows up and is like, "I can fix." Oh, it's like my heart is so cold. And he says, "I can fix that." And then as soon as like something happens, like a noise happens, and she looks over, and it's Trout Walker and another woman, and you find out that woman was also a student in her class, and she married Trout for his money. And also Ghost Sam disappears, and you can just see her being like, "Damn it, I was hallucinating Sam, and you both ruined it."
I was this close to achieving nirvana. I was this close.
I almost just had ghost sex. Ghost sex.
When will this ever happen again?
Why did you have to break my delusion? And of course he says something and she quickly has a draw that's a gun on him. And then they're like, "Tell us where the treasure is. We know you buried it." It's like, "There's no treasure around here." And it's like, "Tell us where it is. We'll get you, all right." And then you see one of the yellow spotted lizards. She's like, "Don't worry. It's all right." She grabs it and intentionally gets bitten. Yes, David.
Kevin.
Yes.
Did this happen in the book the same way?
Well, it does happen in the book, but it's a little bit different. So
How?
in the book, Kate Barlow's held up in some shack somewhere, and she's like just trying to rest. And this is after she would have buried the treasure, and she's just tired, and she wants to die. And I think she's hallucinating Sam there too. And then Trout Walker and her break in there, and are like, "Tell us where the treasure is." She's like, "I don't have a treasure." And they're like, "Bullshit! There's a treasure. Tell us where it is." She's like, I'll never tell you. I will never tell you where this treasure is." And so they're like, "Well, we'll make life hard for you." So they kind of like they tie her up and force her to walk through the desert barefoot and tell them where's like find the treasure. And as she's like persisting, they're like hitting her with a shovel and like they're beating her bad, just being like, "Tell us where it is." And then she like they see a yellow spotted lizard and she gets bit by accident, and then she just dies that way. She's like, "Tell us where it is." Like, "Oh no." And she's like, "It doesn't matter now. I'm gonna die."
Deuces.
See, and the book even says like she died laughing. Like, "You're never gonna find it. I'm already dead. You can't do anything else to me."
Eat a dick.
Pretty much. I'm like, it's kind of darker in the book.
Yeah, I mean,
because they even say like her feet are like black and blistered from walking in the. I mean, she's walking barefoot in the desert. And they say they make her do it for like days.
Jesus Christ. Like, that's crazy, man. I honestly, like, if I was like in that situation and the man that probably killed the only man I love was trying to tell me like, "Give me your money," I think I'd die first.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, fuck you.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, fuck you.
Kidding me?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I'll get you. I don't know how, and she did. She literally the
Yeah.
best way, die without telling him.
Yep.
And
you have 5 miles of desert to dig through.
Have fun, boy.
Your children and your children's children's children.
Well,
And their children.
Fuck you.
Yeah, the other thing is the weird exposition of Trout Walker's wife is like, "It hasn't rained here since Sam died." And it's like, why would you remember that?
Yeah,
why would you take note of that? And it just sounds weird because in the book, what it does is when Sam dies, it just says, "And it never rained in that town again." And then it's like, who was really like who's really the monster here, or who was really the sinner? Because they refer to her and Sam as sinners for kissing. So like the book's just kind of like, it never rained again in that town. Who was the real sinner? Who was really punished? Who was really being punished for what happened that night?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Biblical shit.
Yeah, it is biblical shit.
I love it. I love a nice vengeful god tale.
Yeah. So then Stanley and Zero decide to go back to find where the treasure really is, because Stanley pretty much knows where it is.
Yeah.
And they get there
because he like did like a special rock.
Yeah, he put like a marker, a rock to
Yeah.
know which one it is. So they get back pretty quickly, In the book, they drag it out because like they're like, we got to remember how to get there because we got lost in the desert, and like they really draw it out. But I mean, movies got a movie. This movie's 2 hours long already. That's pretty long for a kids movie. So I get why they cut that out. But it would have been. It just would have shown that like their journey's not done yet. They got to get back still. Like they're still in the desert, lost because they got lost. Like Stanley got lost to find Zero, and then they basically got lost to find God's thumb. The movie's like there it is, but they basically just decide like let's see if we can find it. In the book, they're like, screw it, like I'm lost, I don't even know where I am, and you're refusing to go back, so maybe we can find God's thumb, and they happen to find it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So they find the treasure, and then of course in that moment, they're like, be quiet, we're finding the treasure, and they just start screaming and yelling when they find the treasure, and that's
Not
when...
at night.
At night, and that's when Sigourney Weaver and Mr. Sir and Dr. Pendanski show up, and they're like, oh, you found the treasure, boys, why thank you, but then there are yellow-spotted lizards everywhere.
Yeah, more terrible CGI. Like it's intercut with like the real lizards, but then when they're crawling closer,
yeah,
like
when the real lizards, they actually look good because what they did was they painted bearded dragons for the lizards because these lizards aren't real.
Non-toxic paint.
Non-toxic paint. No animals were harmed in the making of this film. So they're just waiting and waiting, and that's when one of my favorite parts of the movie happens, where Sigourney Weaver's like, I've been looking for that treasure forever. I had to dig here with my grandpa. I even had to dig on Christmas. They do a flashback of Nate. Not Nate. Trout Walker is just so old.
Decrepit old.
Digging a hole. And she just goes, I'm tired of this grandpa. He goes, that's too damn bad. And I don't know what it is, but I laughed so hard when that part happened.
Because he shuts it down very quickly.
Yeah.
He doesn't give her,
I've been digging for 80 years.
Like, he doesn't even give her time to breathe, like I'm tired. That's too damn bad.
Like, he knows his children probably said this to him, so he's just so ready. And, my God.
On it. Like, we're going, like, she's like, we're digging for buried treasure. So shut up, Christmas. I'll buy you 100 Christmases once we get this treasure. Can you imagine the promises he would tell every Christmas? Like, come on, this year's the year, kids.
He says, yeah, I'm feeling it. I feel it in my bones.
Oh, Papa, you feel this every year. And every year we dig, and he'd never get us presents. The presence of the labor.
Yeah, and you find out also that Sam's lawyer... I want to say Sam every time. Stanley.
Yeah.
Stanley's lawyer was there trying to pick him up because, like, he's innocent.
Stanley
Yelnats. Backwards and forwards. Woo! Yeah, so it's like he's trying to find him. I mean, like, he's innocent. Let him go. Where is he? And they're like, oh, he's not here. Like, what do you mean he's not here? Like, what? Yeah. Like, they're trying to give this lawyer the runaround. And then
it's a lawyer. Is it a cop, too?
At first, it's just a lawyer.
It's just a lawyer by
And then
herself.
she comes back with the Texas Attorney General.
Okay.
And she comes back with, like, a few cops, too. Mm-hmm. But the book even states, like, it's the Attorney General of Texas. And that's why it's like, what do you mean, like, they didn't give you the kid when you have this paper signed by a judge saying, give me the kid, and it's literally the same exact judge that sentenced him.
Yeah.
Because they did, like, more investigating, because the movie doesn't say, but in the book, the reason they have a lawyer now, because they couldn't afford one before, is that his idea, since the foot idea is working, they were working on getting a patent. Mm-hmm. And while the patent was happening, I think they just told him about Stanley, and she looked into that too, and was like, your son's innocent. Like, and so there you go. And then,
fair enough. So
she shows up with the Attorney General, seeing them all down there with the lizards. They're just sitting there with the treasure, and that's when Zero knows how. He's like, hey, is your first name your last name backwards? It's like, yeah. It's like, well, this has your name on it. I'm like, what the hell? And then Sigourney Weaver's trying to pull up a lie, like, nope, they stole that chest out of my room, and they came out here, and all these lizards are here, and we don't know what to do, and oh boy, but then you see the name, and it's like...
Stanley Yelnats, look, see? Like, it's, in Zero's just like, you know, moment of, like, he learned how to read.
He can't even read!
Like, that's what a terrible defense, because, like, that's what motherfucker I can read, and that does say Stanley Yelnats.
He can't read, so that's not what it says. Yeah, but we can all read.
Yeah. Dr. Pendanski. Shut the hell up. And also, that's when, like, Mr. Sir is being all cagey and shit.
Yeah,
and,
so after they had the treasure, like, this treasure's ours, like, and you're right, it has your name on it, like, throw it in my trunk, lawyer, and it's like, Stanley, you're free to go, let's go, and at the same time, they're like, all right, like, Stanley's like, I can't leave without Zero, and it's like, well, I don't know what Zero's file is, like, please, you don't understand, like, we can't leave without Zero, like, please help Zero, and it's like, she's just kind of thinking, all right, like, let me see Zero's file, maybe there's something I can do, and they deleted his file, and that's when the Attorney General's like, what the hell do you mean?
Are you out of your mind?
You don't have this kid's file? It's like, well, and then, like, they're trying to let him go, and she's like, you can't let him go, he's a criminal. It's like, well, what's he even being charged with? You don't have his file. Like, we have no idea what this kid's charged with, or who this kid even is.
He doesn't exist, basically.
According to you, this kid's not here.
You've unpersoned him. In front of the one person you shouldn't be doing it to. Attorney motherfucking
Yeah, and the Attorney General says in the book, they're even saying, like, we're going to do an investigation, because what the hell are you doing?
You fucked.
But the movie does, like, way more comeuppance, which, I mean, it's a kid's movie, so I guess you got to say it. So
bad guy punished.
So then also you find out that Mr. Sir is actually marrying
I know the last name. I remember
Marion.
And the kid's like, Marion!
Marion Salvadino.
Marion!
Isn't that a girl's? Isn't that... I didn't know that was a boy's name. And he's like, it isn't. And they're like, you're breaking parole. You're not allowed to have this gun. You're under arrest, too. And it's like, yay!
And fucking the warden, Sigourney Weaver, she's like, I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And that honestly would happen a lot, too, with the camps. When I did more research, it was always about, like, yeah, it's always be, like, kids, like, people with, you know, irreparable reputations, no background, any type of like help, because that way you can pay them nothing. Like there are some guards getting paid like $7 an hour to like watch like kids in a boot camp setting with no training associated with it, no paperwork, dude. It's more common than you think. So even that, once again, the movie does a good job of the warden be like, well, I didn't know about that, bitch. Yes, you did.
Hey man, I saw Tiger King. I can believe that.
It's like no matter what, tigers are
children. I mean, no. Yeah, so then it's like, Sigourney Weaver's like, please, like, let me just see it. And he's like, sorry. And then they go and they leave. And right before they leave, it starts to rain for the first time in almost 100 years. And all the kids are cheered. And, you know, you wish that they were starting playing, like, Have You Ever Seen the Rain or something like that. But they don't. But they're all happy. And X-Ray's like, I'm sorry for being such a dick all the time. And saying, he's like, it's all right. But, like, as far as movie goes, it's like, I don't know, X-Ray. You were kind of... You didn't really redeem yourself at all.
Yeah.
You were kind of a jerk the whole time.
Yeah, and you just kind of benefited from, like, you know, you being a jerk in the day off. Like, that wasn't really, like, a bonding moment. Like, it was still you being, like, you know, the big bad. It was always like, hey, they're not... He basically said, like, be careful out there. They're not as nice as us. It's like, X-Ray? God damn it, man. Like, if you just said, like, hey, we're cool, it would have been one thing. But the movie doubles down being like, I'm not that bad. Like, but you kind of are, X-Ray. Kind of are.
Yeah.
And the book doesn't have a comeuppance either, you said? Like, just like...
No, the comeuppances aren't really...
Oh, I mean,
it's just kind of like, hey, you're like, I'm sorry for the way I treat you. And he's like, it's all right. And also, it's like, I'm leaving now, so like, I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, like, I have a family to go back to.
Yeah, I don't know your life story.
And
maybe in the sequel book, we'll find out. Because there's a sequel book.
Side steps, or I think it's small steps or side steps. I looked it up.
It's about armpit.
I looked it up, too, and I can't remember, like, the specifics. But there's steps involved, very cute, like shoes, like walking cover. Came out 2006, I think.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, and then like what's another good moment too when like the armpit is like, hey, listen, like before you go, man, like just give my mom this letter, tell her Theodore's sorry, and it's like, nice, man.
Yeah.
Like his armpit really just wants to belong.
I mean, as far as the kids in the prison go, like armpit was probably the nicest to him because Zigzag starts a fight with him, and so does like that other kid, and then X-Ray's, you know, he's the king of the mob, and then Twitch is just. There, he's just there to be twitchy, which is weird because it bothered me when they're all celebrating and screaming. They're Twitch is out there too. It's like, Twitch, you've been here for like 4 days. Like, why do you care that much about it raining outside?
Yeah, I wanted a kid to like push him down. Like, shut up, Twitch. You don't get to enjoy this like we do. You haven't suffered like us. You're still bottom bitch.
Yeah. So then that's when they flash forward to like, we have all this money and we got millions of dollars, so they invest in this foot smelling thing, and everyone's rich. And Hector finds his mom. And everyone that's happily ever after.
Yeah, it really was a true ending to an American fairy tale.
Yeah.
Because really, like, that's the true American fairy tale. It's like, we found a bunch of money, and we can just do whatever the fuck we want with the money.
The American dream.
Yeah, just guilt, like, gigantic sums of guilt-free money. Because some people want to earn money in some crazy-ass way, but the true American dream is like, we got a chest full of money! Now we don't have to worry about bills and whatever, our dreams will come true.
We solved life.
We'll never be sad again with money.
I just wondered, like, one thing where they say, like, how, like, Hector and Stanley were best friends forever. And I just like to think as they got older, like, they stayed best friends. And someone goes, like, oh, how did you two even meet? It's like, oh, we met in juvie. It's like, what?
Oh yeah, yes. Oh yes. Juvenile hall. It was run by crazy warden going through some blood feud. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
We're rich and famous.
Curses and stories that transcended hundreds of years, and bigotry and magic in the old country. You know, that's life for us, I guess.
Yeah, like Jesus. And then, like, it pans out, and it's just, like, there's, like, a brothel, and it's like, now, we're gonna, like, fucking, like...
Where did their life take them, Damon?
Dude, they're just, you get billions of dollars, and, like, now you think you're gonna be the same? Like, you're, oh, my God.
No,
like, yeah,
right. Zero got an education. He became wicked smart.
Yeah, he became wicked smart, and then used that money for power. And then, money and power. Oh, no. And then Stanley used the money to become Shia LeBeouf.
And that's how Shia LaBeouf came to be. And you know the rest of the story.
And that's Holes.
Yeah.
I like the movie. It's been,
I liked it
it's
too.
been a couple of years since I've seen it, so I honestly wasn't sure how I was going to feel. I was going to be
I liked
bored
it a
during
lot.
it. I only watched this movie once. Like, I wasn't, like, jonesing to watch it a second time, if I'm being, like, super honest. But
I don't have that nostalgia for it. A lot of my friends have a lot of nostalgia for this. And I don't
feel nostalgia for this movie, or the book wasn't a big part of my childhood, but very similar. A lot of my friends are like, oh my god, like, I love, like, they can quote like a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
I don't remember an iota about this movie. I had to write the shit down.
But I liked it. It's one of the, I think, like I said earlier, I think this should be up there with like the best like group kids movies, like with Goonies and like Mighty Ducks
Top 10.
and like Sandlot. Like,
top,
that should be up there.
Top
Absolutely,
10, top
I
10.
would. Yeah, this was great. I love this movie.
Yeah, top 10. Good ensemble.
The only thing I didn't like was I just didn't like how some of the music was done. I don't like the editing, and Jon Voight.
Mr. Sir Voight.
Oh my god, this movie if Jon Voight was just literally any other actor playing it just less hammy, I would like this movie more. I honestly think that.
Damn, man. It took you out of it.
It took me out of the movie completely.
Damn.
It was like that and the CGI lizards. It just took me out of the movie.
Yeah, but the CGI lizards are more understandable. Jon Voight had a choice. Yeah, he had a choice of how like portray Mr. Sir.
Does that wig look good? Is it supposed to look good? I don't know.
Neither do we! And then, like, they just fucking go with it.
Dig it up, them holes, dig 'em.
Diggity!
No! It's sad digging.
I changed my mind. It's diggity again!
No! Dig it up, them holes, dig 'em.
So, this has been...
Wait!
Wait.
Don't you dare end this episode yet, Damon.
That's right. The mastermind behind the scenes.
Where does he think he is ending this episode without offering something nice to our awesome listeners?
Hell yeah.
So, this episode right now is episode 8, but in 2 weeks, we're going to have our 10th episode. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's only 10, but 10 that's crazy to me that we have 10 episodes in 2 weeks.
Dude.
So
it's been awesome.
So we're so grateful that we have so many people listening, so many more than I thought people were going to be listening at this point, and we have over 100 followers on Facebook.
We have like close to 50 on Instagram, only a couple on Twitter because like Twitter scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, we're scared about entering the Twitter realm.
I'm scared.
There's a lot of things on the Twitter. So
it's like a dumpster fire.
So as a thank you to all of our fans, we want to do for episode 10 is we want to let you guys decide what movie we review next. So we're going to put up a voting on our Facebook page. Probably in the next 2 days, we'll probably put it up.
Yeah.
So when you see it, I think we're going to close the polls that Monday. So when episode 9 comes out, we'll be closed. We're not going to say what movie it is yet. We'll announce the movie that won on our Facebook. We'll say it on Twitter and Instagram probably.
Yeah.
Just to let you know what won. And then, let you guys vote.
Yeah, for episode 10?
Yeah, for episode 10.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I totally spaced out about it. You try to remind me 7 times. Like, don't forget to go in this episode.
Yeah, we're going to give you guys probably around 3 or 4 movies to choose from. Like I said, we're going to have the polling up on our Facebook page around Wednesday we're going to shoot for, but we're going to close the polls Monday morning, next Monday.
Yeah.
But we're, like right before right when episode 9 comes out, we'll announce on our Facebook, this is what won, and this is what we're going to review, and we hope you enjoy it.
And we get to see like what you people like.
Yeah, we're curious what movie you guys are going to pick.
Yes.
But if you want to know what movies it's going to be, you're going to have to check out our Facebook page.
Woo! And follow us on all the social media too, because I'll post reminders there to be like, because I think it would be easier just like have like one central like place everyone can vote. But I'm going to put it on the Facebook, on the Instagram, on the Twitter. Yep. Say on the Snapchat, like, hey, listen, go to our Facebook to vote for this. Yes. And you know, in the descriptions you'll see like links to like all our social media as well. So
we try to keep everything together. Like if you're on one page, you're gonna find a link to one of our other pages.
Yeah, so like, share, it's like subscribe. Please like tell your friends. I had another idea too. Share this with someone you think you might get a little mad about like the conversation, or someone that might like agree in a different way. Like just I want people that may disagree with us to like to hear us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like a little bit of tension. I like a little bit of conflict.
So please like share this because I love doing this. It's so fun, and like honestly, I wouldn't feel as much like confidence without the people listening, without people like already commenting and saying like they like this or that, or even like just I'm very grateful for all this. So we would love to like have you guys have some control over the project because without listeners, like we're just 2 guys in the fucking closet.
Yeah. Oh no.
I know. Wait, what's
I don't know what he's doing.
I'm trying to think of like what's
he's doing something.
I'm trying to think like what's the right. Oh, I'm trying to do it's getting hot in here, but like it's so hot, like my brain forgot the fucking like. forgot how the beat goes.
Wrap it up.
It's getting hot in here, so hot. This has been a Black and White review. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. No, I got tired of the bit. Yeah, it's a Black and White review. Follow us on all our social, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, thanks, guys.
See you next time.
Peace.